I'm having second thoughts.
Oh, hi! It's us. We're live, and we're so happy to see you for this, the session 0 of our After the War series. Y'all, I am so heckin' excited, so heckin' hype to have you all here. Thank you for joining us today. It is so nice to see you. Yeah. So, first thing, I'm gonna go and say a few words, and then I'll let everyone else say hi. So hi, thank you so much for being here. I'm of course Jess. This is my channel. You can find me at go_GG and all the places online. And for the next 4 weeks, we are bringing to you a wonderful story called After the War. It is a game by Genesis of Legend Publishing, who we want to thank very much for asking us to do this. So After the War, you can see right here. We're gonna be talking about it for the next little while, so I won't tell you too much yet. It's a surprise. But thank you so much. We're so excited to play your game, y'all. Anytime you want to, we have some commands in the chat for you to use. We have they're all versions of After the War or ATW. So exclamation point ATW in the chat will bring up the info on this game, After the War. We also have an exclamation point ATWCW, which brings up the content warnings, which will be ongoing, and we will add to them at any point we need to, because this is safety tools are always living documents that you continue to expand upon and add to as you play, and that includes this game and the content warnings which we share with you, the chat, so you know, and you're also valued here, and your safety is valued. And at any time, if we touch on tough stuff and it's not for you, please feel free to get up and step away, because we want y'all to be comfy. We are telling a bit of a tougher story, so we are hoping to tackle that well and in a good way, but still tough stuff. And then, of course, we have exclamation point ATW cast, which brings up the links to all these cool heckin' folks who for some reason agreed to be here with me today, and I appreciate them so much. Y'all, thank you. One other thing really quickly, I want to say thank you to Roll20, who, of course, we are part of the Roll20 Spotlight program, and they do spotlight small creators making cool stuff. So thank you, Roll20, for doing that. I think we are using safety tools. We are using safety tools behind the curtains, but we are also going to pull up the curtain a little bit and share those with you today. That is something we've discussed doing. We have agreed upon doing. Safety tools are very important. You should use them in all your games, but especially this game where we want to reach in and tackle that tough stuff. We want to lay it all out. We want to discuss it. We want to bring it up and make it safe. And so in that way, we are using safety tools, and we will be discussing those with you today. So thank you for being here, for being part of this game, for being part of this discussion. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for me. I don't have a character I need to introduce like I normally would. So yeah, I'm Jess. This is my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, hit that follow button so we can hang out more. We do lots of games here and cool stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna throw it around to the next person. We're gonna go clockwise around the screen. We're gonna go say hi to Viditya. Oh, hi.
Hello. Oh, geez. I knew I was going to be the first one to say hi, but I still got blindsided. Hi, I'm Viditya. I use he, him pronouns. And yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Next up on screen is Simon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Simon. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libres, according to the cast command. And I'm hyped as heck to be here.
Awesome.
That's good.
Next up is Dominique. Hello.
Hello, I'm Dominique. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at DomSDicky. I love RPGs. I think the only thing I love more than RPGs is tea. And I'm very happy to be here. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then I'm going to throw it over to Kevin. Kevin, thank you so
Hey.
much for being here and being willing to run this game and tell this story with us.
I'm happy to. I'm excited. I'm Kevin. My pronouns are he, him. I am. They don't have characters. I don't really. I guess I'm everybody else that they're not yet. And so we are going to be playing After the War, as Jessica said. I'm going to be facilitating the game, or GMing, as the game traditionally uses the term GM. And we are going to get into it. This is going to be, as Jess mentioned, a little bit more of a serious game. It does tackle a couple different heavy subjects, so we are going to cover some of our safety tools. We are going to be using the X and an O cards, or like sort of symbols and symbology and things like that. X being content like immediately, no, this is not content that I'm not comfortable with. N being like, kind of, let's slow down, let's be careful here with this content. And O being, I'm all good. I'm like, my face may not show it, but I'm all cool with this. Press on ahead. Let's dig in. And we are also using lines, veils, ask and asks firsts, which we are going to go over here. The lines that we all together have discussed before and developed and settled upon are sexual assault, torture, racism, homophobia, transphobia, content involving worms, domestic abuse, and romantic infidelity. So that is all content that we do not want in the game in any shape, form at all. Veils that we have are animal suffering and harm to pets, harm to children, and descriptions of surgical procedures, specifically involving needles. So those are things that can happen in the game, but we don't want to see them. They happen off screen, they could be mentioned in reference, but it's not something we engage in. It's not something that's going to be like direct conflict or something to confront for the characters of the players. And we also have Ask Firsts, which are something that Jess introduced me to, and I'm really happy to use and a big fan of now. These are things that we want to talk to about each other, either like in the chat or above table, kind of breaking out of character if we want to engage, if we're cool, we're getting like some consent into engaging with some of this stuff. And that is, those topics are going to be romance and flirting, arguing, pushing beliefs as in the character. There's a mechanical system for beliefs and such, core to the system, that we want to sort of check in and make sure that we, in those scenes, we know where we're going and if we're cool with pushing those. And also player on player violence. And for the show, like referring back to the really kind of more serious topics that this game kind of asks us to confront and engage with, our content warnings for the show are fictional infectious disease, infectious disease protocols, post-war trauma, potential emotional manipulation and abuse, and violence. So please take care of yourselves. If you are not comfortable with any of that, it's totally fine considering all the things going on now and all the things that everybody has to deal with on a personal level besides a societal level. Please take care of yourselves. You can come check back in if you're comfortable at a later date, or just skip the show. We all do other cool stuff you can find around. You can, if you're interested in supporting us in that way, look for other stuff that doesn't engage with the stuff. Please put yourself first. Put your mask on before helping others.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that is our safety tools covered. So now we are going to engage in the game of the game. We are using a wonderful character keeper developed as recently as today, the newest technology developed by my good friend Simon Moody, who is joining us here today. It's a very good character keeper. I'm very happy to have it. It's a very useful tool. And with that, we are going to dig in. So, player roles in After the War. Players are going to embody survivors, protectors, believers, and dreamers. They craft characters and tailor beliefs to best fit the scenario in the game that we've established to promote a compelling narrative. That's the player's brief. Mechanically, players will control their own main characters that they are going to develop, that we're going to make on screen here. And also they're going to embody some supporting characters as appropriate to the given scene if their main character is not involved in that scene. And they're also going to create moments in which main characters learn, grow, grieve, and become corrupted based on mechanical and narrative cues. That's all the player's job. My job as the GM, I play out the fallout of the war. I play out the song, which is a mimetic virus from the alien stars, evangelizing conformity and assimilation. And I also play the community, the small town drama, the white lies and like quiet jealousies of the tight-knit community, as the text puts it. There's another thing called the Tormenta, which we are not going to engage with for this particular game and this incident. We don't feel that we have the space for it, and it doesn't really tie in too well for the scenario we're imagining. So if you're interested in something like the Tormenta, which is you can go check out the full game. It does mention it in the quick start a little bit. If you're interested in that, feel free to download that. It's in a couple of the tweets Jess has promoted out if you're interested. And I encourage you to download the quick start just to follow along. It's very helpful. It's a good tool to have. I'm using it currently. And as a GM on a mechanical level, I'm going to facilitate the consequences of actions and choice, challenge the player's beliefs, or the character's beliefs, sorry, not the player's beliefs. I'm going to establish scenes, direct the spotlight, and guide our engagement with the mechanics of the system, among a couple other things that we'll get to if need be. And with that, so everybody here has like sort of, we're all on the same page of what the players' responsibilities are, the GM responsibilities are. So I think we're going to get into character creation. Character creation, if you're following along at home, it's going to start on the PDF on page 65 of the PDF. And
there we go. I was way far off.
61 of like the actual page of the book.
Okay.
So there's an excerpt about new beginnings and character creation overview. So characters are going to develop their origins, where they come from, where they've been, things like that. They're going to they're going to come up with their like abilities, their character stats and things, a couple beliefs and a name. And then they're going to come up with an origin, where they've been, who they were before, things like that. Come up with a war story, because in After the War, as the name implies, this is a world that has been through a war, and this is how the characters are. The characters lived through the war to some degree, and live in the world after the war and the consequences of that war. Then they're going to pick a profession that they currently embody. Then they're going to pick a couple. They're going to pick a couple more beliefs. No, 2 beliefs and the name. Yeah. First trait, or yeah, there we go. Reading is hard. So let's see. Do folks do we want to go through character by character, or do we going to go through by each section with everybody together? What are y'all thinking?
I like the idea of doing like section by section, and everyone
that'd be
be
really
like,
fun.
I'm thinking this thing, and that way we can all kind of like see if we jive. See if we like mesh well, and then, you know what I mean?
Let's
For sure.
do it. So, first trait is your origin, representing how you were raised. Decide if you are a Terran, a Martian, a Belter, or an alien, of which there are several kinds. Each origin has 5 options, one of which you pick as your second trait. Does anybody have an idea for like one of those greater like super sections of Terran, Martian, Belter that they would like to dig into? I know Jess does. Jess is.
I defer to the 2 of you who have exciting ideas.
Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
I was gonna say that I kind of want to be a Terran, but I'm not married to it.
Okay.
Be a Terran. Do it.
I like it. I think that's a cool.
Be a Terran.
Yeah, be a Terran. I think there's a good story there to tell. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. I want to be an Ursa, which I've already communicated to everyone else here. I really want to be an Ursa, which if you don't know this game, which hey, go check out the quick start guide. It's free and I've linked it several times. The Ursa are hypersocial bear-like species that always work in packs of 4. And there's so many good. I don't know if y'all noticed this, but for each of the I don't know if I can show it. For each of the types, there's like 3 little traits, and the Ursa have 4. They're the only ones that have 4 because they're obsessed with the number 4. I just love it so much. Sorry.
And one of them is
they live in groups of 4. They have 4 traits.
Yeah.
And
One of it is unbearable puns.
Unbearable puns. Their 4th trait is just puns. Unbearable puns.
Jess, should I challenge you not to pick that? Not
I mean, you could, but then I might
wouldn't
just if
dare.
you don't let me be a cute bear person, how do you not want me to be a cute bear person
I
who you
meant the
can then make
puns.
very sad?
The
Oh, okay.
puns. Oh my god.
I can try not to do. That's okay.
100%.
I can try not to. I can
No,
try.
I'm
I
kidding. I'm
can't
just
promise,
teasing.
but I'll try.
Let Jess have fun.
Follow your
I-
dreams.
I can't tell you not to make puns because I know I'm gonna make some puns, and that would not be fair. That would not be me
Oh, no.
adhering to the GM responsibilities of fairness and honesty.
Listen.
Air
Listen.
puns.
I'm not saying
I'm
it's
just calling
not
you out for your brain.
possible, but I could try to not. I can try to not have too many unbearable puns for all of you.
Oh,
Like-
good. Nice.
But it might not be as clawsome if you just let me.
Wow. We're in for a real good time, huh?
We're here.
I will be
Oh my god.
furious if you don't let me do puns.
We gotta put this on pause because you're gonna run out of puns before the game starts.
Yeah, you gotta slowly, because then we're gonna get into really weird and specific puns, right?
Those are the best kind of puns.
Yeah. Next thing you know, like between sessions, Jess is like, "So I've been spending a lot of time on bear Wikipedia."
Yeah, I found some real quality ones. Listen.
Stop.
Okay,
Vid,
I'm muting-
let's not
I'm
pretend
muting
like
my
you didn't
mic
have a
now.
charity stream. Vid, you had a charity stream featuring a skeleton that told bone puns, so let's
Oh,
not
that's true.
cast aspersions here.
Yeah. If you have bear puns, then feel free to say them in chat and
Call your doctor if you are experiencing bear
bear
puns.
puns. Oh no.
So
Well,
we have a Terran, we have an Ursine.
I know I want to be a Martian, and
Martian,
I
okay.
specifically want to be a Martian of the Titan division. So they're like armor. They literally are the power armor clad Martian army.
Called it.
Yeah. Listen, it's called Titan Division. I don't know what else to tell you. And I think Martians are always really cool in these kind of stories. I'm a big fan of kind of like First Colony stories. That something about that always really interests me. That like, oh, we're from Mars kind of deal.
Exploring that a little bit, how like the Martians from the art, I believe, yeah, they are human in origin, like sort of genetically, but like how much do you envision Martians have deviated from like Terrans, like either socially or like physically, based on different like, sort of
I know
environment?
like well, so the book says that like Martians live in like domed cities and stuff like that, and like it's pretty like corporation focused. So I'm assuming I'm gonna like think that like socially they're maybe a little bit more isolated than maybe like Terrans and stuff like that. That they're very much like, oh yeah, like you know, I grew up in this little place and probably very what's the word like. I want to say brand loyalty, but that's not what I mean. It's like they're like
You just drop ads for the corporation.
I know, right?
In your
I'm like,
normal speech, you gotta like
Oh,
you gotta
no.
count, you gotta hit every day.
oh, that's awful. Insular is probably the best word that I can use, which kind of has
Insular,
to do with it. That's how kind of I see it from like reading about this is and then because it's like 200 years later Mars was unified along lines of commerce rather than nationality is like really kind of like the big word. So it's not like, oh, I'm Martian and I love all other Martians. It's like, oh, I'm I don't know like a good way to put that. Like
I'm Amazonian and I hate
the
eBayers.
eBayers. Yeah. And so like and probably like being a soldier I would definitely be like, well, I respect and trust other soldiers, like think they would be family than anyone else. I would probably treat like at an arm's distance or something. Is how I'm kind of reading it. Yeah.
Physically, do you think people can spot you as Martian at a glance?
I'm actually not sure about that. I think I don't see.
Is there like
There's
a Martian attitude? Like, is there a Martian like?
Oh,
That's
I would
You know what I mean,
imagine like.
Mars's gravity is 62% lower than Earth's.
But there's like I guess like it's not really
Dominique,
artificial.
did
So
you say something? I saw you unmute your mic and then I didn't hear anything.
I asked. It got lost in crosstalk, but I asked like, would you have a different accent?
ooh.
Ooh, different like
I don't know
slang, like different terminology for some
Probably
things.
different terminology. I'm not sure if I have an accent, mostly because I'm very bad at accents.
All the more reason to leave it.
You don't have to do the accent.
I don't have to. I
You
know.
have the accent.
But you could still have like a tone or like
Like an
a
affectation.
I don't know why I always assumed that all Martians would sound like southern, have like a southern accent. I don't know,
That's
like a
interesting,
Texan-
though.
Like a Texan accent is for some
the
reason.
Terran
why-
Dominion.
That's definitely a sci-fi trope because like you're a colonist and like you're out like farming.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
stuff, so,
why.
like,
That's
yeah.
entirely why it's in my brain. Yeah.
I like that.
It's like a
Genesis of
Western.
Legend in chat, who wrote this game, said the power armor is a bit of a tell for Martian.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be.
Do you hang on? I need to get into this because
Am I-
personal thing. Do
Am
you
I
wear your
Master
power armor
Chief?
all the time? Are you Master? Do people know it?
I mean, you could be. If you were
could.
in Titan Division, you could just like walk around like Master Chief with
Who's gonna stop you, really?
your repurposed suit.
Maybe.
When you go to the bar, do you go in your power armor?
Do I park my power armor outside?
Like so much Jim Raynor.
Hang on. I'd love that though. You park it outside.
Like it's a Jim Raynor guy. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, you see that over there? Anyone see that? Well, there was like an Iron Man movie where he just did that, right? Like he just
I think so.
it's like he parks his suit. It's just like a hollow shell.
Pretty sure it's Iron Man 2, he parks it outside of a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just sitting there. I think that's really funny. Probably something like that. I want to maybe wait until I like specifically nail
Okay.
that down because I feel like that'll come in as we like flesh out our characters.
Gotcha.
Because I already came in with a little bit of an idea. I specifically want to be like a younger person who like but we'll get into that with our war story and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
it
you're
was
gonna
like-
have a war story.
We're gonna yeah,
Like a hell of a war story.
Titan Division.
yeah.
I only
So we've got a Terran, an Ursine, and a Martian, and Simon. What are you gonna be?
Well, so the game doesn't require you to all like you can still double up on the same origin. It's the subtype that you can't double up on, right? So we could have
Exactly.
multiple Terrans, we could have multiple Martians. But I think it's interesting if we all come from different perspectives, like completely. And so I'm going to be a Belter.
hell yeah.
Belter, yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you the same thing. Like, do you think Belters are physically sort of deviant from like Terrans and Martians? Being living in
100%.
zero G?
100%.
Yeah.
They're my understanding is they're heavily inspired by elements of
The Expanse, I think.
media like The Expanse.
Yeah.
And so because I realized we didn't really give a little bit of premise to like the setting itself. This is like this is sci-fi far future.
Mhm.
Earth exists or existed. Mars was colonized 200 years ago. There was this big Martian, or there's this big corporate war that left Mars Corp in control of Mars.
Mhm.
Belters are people that are colonizing and living out in space in zero G, and then there's aliens and stuff running around. And Earth no longer exists because it was destroyed during the war.
Mhm.
So Belters, as people that live out in the asteroid belt and on these spaceships and things like that, and people who are born there and raised there, I think they have to physically be defined by that life in low gravity. So like I'm imagining Belters are usually pretty universally like taller, more gaunt,
Yeah.
less muscle mass. Maybe even some of them have like differences of skin tones. I imagine like even people of color might be a little more low on melanin,
Mhm.
because you're like not in sunlight. You're just under
Yeah.
artificial light at all times.
Hmm.
So even someone who's like someone of my skin tone might be a little more blue than
Mhm.
like red.
Oh,
Kind of
yeah.
as an interesting visual. Like if you were a miniature painter and you just took a skin tone and put a bunch of Druchi violet all over everything, like a purple or blue wash, maybe just a tint to it. That's what I'm imagining.
Speak
Kevin
my
wouldn't know.
language. And do you have an idea for what type of builder you would be?
I have some really interesting options. And because Vidith is a Martian, I have half a mind to play against that.
Oh, in what
Do it.
sense?
Well, so the options that I have, the subtypes. So when you pick your origin, you get one of these 4 core ideas, right? Terran, Martian, Belter, and Alien.
Mhm.
I can be either from the Stewards or Padres, who are on these giant multi-faith missionary ships that fly around the belt,
Oh, yeah.
providing medical support and stuff. Super cool. 100% my jam. The Marshals or the Mariscal, who are like judges and authority figures. Designated adults is the phrase that is thrown around as well,
Oh, that's pretty good.
who settle debates and disputes. They're like marshals, right? They are
Yeah.
marshals. They're like Western law folk. Transporters, who bring cargo and people around.
Mhm.
Wanderers or vergers, who are just like looking for whatever. And then the Resistance, who are members of a group called Bradbury Weeps.
So good.
Let me read you this little description here. Mars Corp is the monolithic engine that will take humanity to the next stage of their evolution. As a member of Bradbury Weeps, you were the sand in the gears. You were part of the resistance to the tyrannical corporate dystopia and have Martian blood on your hands.
Okay.
And like
Yeah.
I kind of want to mess around with that of like,
Oh God.
you corporate sellout. Like you don't even know you were born into this. You don't even know that like your DNA is stamped with corporate logos.
Oh, that's so good. Oh yeah, and I'm like I want to like play kind of a younger person, so I'd be
Yeah.
like entirely in it. I'd be like, "Excuse me,
Right.
you don't
How
understand."
dare you?
Yeah, like Mars Corp was out there fighting and saving your like kind of like shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
How could you fight us when we were the ones fighting for you?
Oh
Wow.
my god,
Okay.
I love that Viditya, you want to play like a young character and like you like the tropes that you're saying, like the things that you're saying, like, like you don't even appreciate what we did for you is such a like generally tropey old person thing to
Mhm.
do, right? Like that's so interesting.
Let's see. I'm into it. All good on my part, by the way, Simon. Yeah. Fuck it, let's fight.
All right, bring it on, ding dong.
Circling back to our Terran, what subtype are you going to be, Dominique, for
I'm
Terrans?
thinking, so I would pick like one of the community options, right? The
Mhm.
options are like political community. Okay, I want to do academic community,
Okay.
and then I scroll to the Terran page where there are the 3 options next to academic community. I pick one of those as well, right?
You get all.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, that explains a lot.
Yeah, so to preview for everyone playing along at home, when you rather than do skills and feats and like powers and things like that in your character sheet, when you're creating your character, you're choosing an origin for each of these 3 categories. Your like where you came from, your war story, and then your profession. And then each of those things and the subcategory that you choose gives you a trait which you can invoke kind of like fate style for dice in a scene.
Can anyone look at the character keeper? Tell me if I put everything in the right place.
I'm looking at it now, and it looks like you're doing everything perfectly.
Cool. I feel like I'm really bad at character sheets.
Oh, wait, actually.
Did I not,
So
did I do it
under
wrong?
origin option, if you click into
Right.
that and then click academic community and then bump
And then
everything
put-
that you have from there up 1.
Oh, sick. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was missing out on.
Shoot.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Simon.
So the other thing that's happening here is there's each of these subtypes gives you 3 traits, and there's space for a 4th one, but that's not filled in unless you're an Ursa, I guess. I hadn't realized that you're the one that breaks the rules, because during play, we as the audience watching the scene happen, if we're not in there, can tell people or can ask oh, how do you know this? And a player can introduce some world building element for part of their background and add a new thing as a trait. So if I get in a fist fight with Viditia's character, someone could be like, oh, is there a belter fighting style? And I could say, oh yeah, of course, I learned it. Every belter learns how to defend themselves in XYZ way. And so I could add that as a 4th trait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which
So
I think is super
now mine
cool.
is correct, right?
Yes, yours. Oh no, I'm actually gonna bump it up one for you.
Damn
So
it.
oh wait, yes it is, because the Terran thing, you get 3 bonuses for being a Terran.
Well, what
Oh.
are...
1 second.
Let's see. So
I feel
you
like
picked
it's the
Terran.
same boat as me. What do you put in that section then?
Oh, so if you go to on the PDF,
Yes.
Oh,
Um,
situations.
yeah, when you go back up to your origin,
Oh, okay.
there's 2 pages. I think it makes more sense if you have the physical book than the
spread.
PDF.
Yeah.
Probably
'cause
because
there's-
the trade spread.
Terran,
That
and
makes
then
so much sense. Okay.
the next
yeah.
page on 65 of the PDF
Okay, so
says
culture, history.
situations.
So I get
Yeah.
corporations, finances, and so on. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
now that I'm trying to look at a 2-page spread 1 page at a time, and it's making everything needlessly confusing. This is just like a physical book. If you were
Yeah,
at
that's-
home watching this, just get the physical book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, feel free to take your time. Let me know when everybody is ready to move on to the next step, which is our war stories, or your war stories. So
Wait, hold up.
You don't get a war story, Kevin.
We don't.
I don't get a war story. I am the war.
Kevin's
story.
all the war stories.
Kevin is the war story.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's so many layers to that statement.
Yep.
All right.
I'm good. And so,
Yeah.
Dominique, you're academic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm building towards that I want to be a xenobiologist, but we haven't
Perfect.
gotten to the part where I can do that yet. All of my character elements are building towards making an awesome xenobiologist.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That top-down
Spoilers.
design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know where you want to get, so you're just like, move along the way.
You gotta just reverse engineer that.
Yeah.
So war stories. Everybody ready?
Mhm.
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Your war story represents the traumatic events you survived during the War of the Song. It's something that left a lasting mark on your body, mind, and soul. It is the most important event that you participated in. And similar to your origins, it's broken down into major categories and subcategories. We've got the overture. You were involved in the beginning of the war, whether you were captured by the song's first notes or warned the galaxy of the threat. You were there at the beginning. You should have stopped this from happening, but you had no way of knowing what would come next. The crescendo. You were involved in the darkest period of the war, when our extinction seemed inevitable and the Great Choir smashed against our defenses and bombarded the inner planets. You survived fighting on the Ort line or fleeing on one of the thousands of refugee ship haulers in the Exodus fleet. Dissonance. You were involved in the bloody resistance against the Sun, where humanity fought with every weapon at its disposal to survive. You helped the Exodus fleet turn human volunteers into mimetic artillery to be flung against the Great Choir. You still see their faces and hear their screams in your darkest nightmares. Silence. You were there in the first years after the war. Tormentious scream drowned out the song. The Great Choir fell from the orbit on the surface of Polvo. Some chose to rest and heal, but you knew you had to act. You were one of the millions trying to build a better future out of the carnage of the past. So, do any of those appeal to anybody here?
I'm kind of feeling overture because there's a an option within the overture category. Like there's a subcategory that I'm interested in.
What was the subcategory? Since you have one already in mind, let's go through it.
Feynman's Sentinels.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
I
hoping
read
one
that
of us
off.
would take that. That's just so
I
that's
mean,
so
does
juicy.
anyone else want it?
No, you should take it.
Okay. Cool. Then my war story is going to be Overture.
Do you want to read off Feynman Sentinels?
Yeah, let me just go through it. You were one of the staff on Feynman Station, the first outpost to hear the song. While you didn't hear the song, you saw what happened to your friends and colleagues who did. And I love the idea of being like everyone is like hearing the song and like losing their shit, and I am like the only like cognizant, sane and healthy person on this entire station. Like, what do I do now? And just surviving that.
And preview for the incident that we are going to get into for this game, we decided that we're going to focus on the song. The song is going to be the central tension for this game. So that does play into this really well. So you're a xenobiologist, they might have like some prior experience, they might be having some feelings burbling back up as things kind of start getting tense in a similar way that you might have experienced before.
Also, one of the tags that you get for choosing Overture is science. So part of me reverse engineering my way to being a xenobiologist.
Yep.
Science evasion, the song. Very good.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we have Dominique has picked theirs. Who would like to do any of these war story super categories standing out to anybody? Jess, looks like you have.
I know, but I'm like, I went so early last time. I should shush my mouth and
No,
let
no,
other
no, do
people
it.
go
No, do it,
first.
do
Your
it.
enthusiasm is exciting.
I'm
Yes.
such a terrible person.
No, it helps. It helps
Hey.
me because I'm kind of on the fence of some stuff. So like, as people kind of are like, I have an idea. I'm like, yes, good.
Okay.
So you're
kind
getting
of
the cheeseburger. That means I can get the chicken sandwich.
Yeah, and then I can get a bite off of yours. It's fine. It's whatever.
yeah.
But like,
Oh yeah. I mean,
fries for the
I'm here.
table. Fries for the table.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Oh,
guys.
totally. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm glad. Okay. Well, if it's okay with folks, I kind of like the silence. I like the idea of doing the silence for my character. The situations are healing, hope, and relationships. And once again, I like the idea of building a super hopeful character to give Kevin the option of like tearing them apart, like to give someone used to the GM someone nice and happy to then like
Ruin their life.
I've come up with thoughts, and I don't know if I should say them or not, but about my character that I kind of want to do. I kind of like the rendered aid, and the reason I like that.
Oh yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't have, hey, get out your copy of the quick start guide, friends. Rendered aid is like you were basically some of the first folks there, coordinating supplies, directing refugee traffic, and establishing official inquiry into the war. The tags are resettlement, refugees, and records, which I really like. I like the idea of playing someone helpful, like generally like helpful and like trying to like do as much as possible, doing as much good as possible, but also I kind of want to go this story because I kind of want to be the odd one out, and I kind of wanted to. I actually I never do this. I might have thought of a character name that I kind of want to do.
Ooh.
I kind of want to go with Cinq, which is 5 in French, because I like the idea that they never quite had their own pack. So they were always the extra, which is if you know the Ursa, they need to be in packs of 4. They need to be in packs of 4. So Cinq was the extra one out. So they took the first chance they could to come here and help, and now they have their pack of 4, y'all. It's you.
Oh, that's very good.
I'm fucking crying.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's very good.
What's this bullshit about let Kevin rip your character apart? Like you came already.
Oh my
I'm
god.
so sad. Sad bear. I'm a little sad bear. Oh.
Sad bear.
That's kind of what I was thinking. If it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm there to help,
Yes.
but Like my selfish reason was because I wanted to find my own 4.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be
It's so
5
good.
anymore. 5 is bad.
Now you have a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Everything is
have,
good now.
oh, just wait till y'all start fighting each other.
Huh?
Oh my god, Jess, your little bear character is gonna be so upset about seeing Simon and Vinicius fight.
Yeah, that's not okay for a pack. Packs gotta stick together.
Packs don't
I just
fight.
got to challenge my beliefs until I decide that I can finally grow enough that I can put all this fighting behind me.
I'm a bear hug y'all so much until you stop fighting.
Little tiny bear hugs.
Size bear are you?
My human adoptees are fighting again. I just wanted to have space Christmas together like a family again.
Oh my god.
God.
Never got to have a real space Christmas. This was going to be my first one. Oh, whoa.
Jesus. Oh, this is gonna be a good game.
This is gonna be so
Okay.
fun.
I'm trying to think.
Does our Martian or our Belter have an idea of their war story?
I'm like really between a few things.
Okay,
'cause
your
I'm-
process.
All right. So like I said, I want to play like someone who's like a young soldier, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
between silence and dissonance in the way that I'm like either I like never actually saw the battlefield or I saw it at the very end, right? And I guess I'm like unsure which is maybe more interesting to explore.
Oh, geez, yeah, because like you've been trained constantly to work with these titans
Mhm.
and fight, and then you just never get called up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Like you're in the recruit corps and you're like too young to serve.
Yeah.
And, like, you turn of age and then the war ends. Or you get in and you get like you're hyped up, you're super hyped, and then you fight in like one of those last battles, and you're like, wait, I don't know if that's what I wanted.
Yikes.
Yeah.
No, I could see that going in a lot of different cool directions.
And so the more I look at, I think I'm going to lean towards dissonance because the silence's tags are like maybe, or like silence is more maybe the time, like the kind of timeline where I think it would be interesting, but the tags aren't exactly there. Unless I go like the Covenant, where it was like you were part of the team that entered Tormentia Prime in Covenant Yard. You did your best to bury the thing deep enough no one could find it, then dropped a terraforming bomb on top to be sure. Or maybe I do. Wait, sorry. No, I'm just reading out loud now. But like silence, I could also do echoes. You saw the signs, the slight resonances in the hydrogen of Polvo's seas, the strange behavior of the wildlife. You are one of the few who realize that the song lurks in the shadows. So if I want to play into like, I'm like a soldier who never really saw the war, but was like trained and told, hey, the song, the Great Choir, like these are bad. And like many people died to stop it.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like my family, like, you know, I have probably family who were on the front lines and stuff like that. And then like, this could be where I kind of end up where it's like, okay, I'm here on Polvo and I'm like, it's back, y'all, motherfuckers.
What'll be fun to play with too is if like you see it coming, you know the song is back, is like, because you're probably like the youngest of all of us, like, do we believe you?
Ooh, that could be a lot of fun. One of my tags though I think is really interesting is that I have like empathy. So that kind of changes a little bit of like the kind of mental image I was having, but I do like that. I think like they're a little maybe less full of fire or like can cool down when needed.
Well, I mean, but like, what were you in it for? Like, you can be passionate about it, and could it be for the people, and that's why you're empathetic? Like,
Oh, that
you know
makes
what I
sense,
mean?
yeah.
Like, literally, like it's cause you care and feel so much.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. It's like for a greater scale deal. No, I like that. Okay, so I'm gonna lock in silence, echoes. So choristers,
Gotcha.
mimetics, and empathy are the tags that I'm getting from that. And then I forgot if we said what the silences like situations are. Yeah, it's healing, hope, and relationships.
Mhm.
It's very interesting that we're coming at those at very different angles. I'm very into it.
So like, so you saw like you know of like the song and everything based on like it on like the war side of, or like the conflicts, the front
Mhm.
lines, whereas Dominique's character knows of it as like sort of more, you know of the song as like an opposing force,
Right.
so to speak, where Dominique, you know it more as like an infection and like something. So like that's very interesting, like sort of different facets of the same thing that was on the other side of this huge interstellar conflict.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be really good to play into. Okay.
God. Yeah, I can feel that. I feel that pretty hard. Okay.
Fred Belter, what is your war story?
So nobody's taken it, which means I'm going to take it. It's the crescendo. So the actual war itself, like the biggest part of it, right? The overture being like the first warning signs, the crescendo being sort of the invasion itself, right? The song spreads across space, this mimetic virus that converts everyone who hears it, and consumes most of humanity's fleet. Within several months, they reach a line of defenses, the Ort line. It takes them about 8 months to punch through those defenses. During that time, there's something called the Augma Initiative, where people upload like final wills and testaments of people from Mars and Earth before the song hits them.
Jeez.
The Ort line punches through, and then there's a organization, Starlift, that sends a refugee flotilla out of the solar system before the rest of the Great Choir arrives and consumes everything. And I think it's really interesting to be involved in that section, because none of the rest of us, we've kind of seen the war from all the different angles.
Mhm.
The tricky thing for me, given my character origin, I don't think I would have been part of the Augma Initiative as an activist extremist in some cases. So I'm bouncing between fighting on the Ort line itself. So this is an interesting thing. It's a solar system spanning ring of automated defenses that protect Earth and the Great Choir. So I would have been a volunteer who survived that confrontation. Only one of like several thousand, or being part of the Scorched Earth background, which is when the Ort Choir pushed past the Ort line. When the Great Choir pushed past the Ort line, they traveled to the inner planets to convert humanity. Those who resisted suffered orbital bombardment. You were one of the rare survivors of the assault who managed to escape the ruined world after a year-long nightmare. And like that one, I think, is calling me a little bit more as a story, which is like, I think the Ort line implies, well, we're going to defend our home, like the solar system, right? As a belter, I'm probably like already out there.
Yeah.
But Scorched Earth allows me to do something like I was on Mars and was holding Mars, like, oh, when we were doing an op, and then the invasion is coming. All right, well, screw it. Like, let's hold this. These people suck, but I'm going to defend them. Or I was on Earth, one of the two. But I think that's an interesting story to tell.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to go with Scorched Earth.
Yeah, I think Scorched Earth. It sounds like you're gelling with that a little bit more. Might be good to lean into that. Ooh.
Well,
damn. Okay.
what are the tags for Scorched Earth?
Oh baby. Okay, so I'm a real sad character.
Yeah.
All of you are like hope and joy, and this character is shaping up to be real cold. So I hope everyone's okay with the direction of kind of angling here.
Yeah.
As a belter, I have salvage, scarcity, and disputes. The resistance gives me explosives, sabotage, and hacking. The connection to the crescendo gives me violence, grief, and refugees.
Jeez.
And Scorched Earth gives me scavenging, deprivation, and urban warfare.
Oh, jeez.
So if the song is back and it's
Yeah.
in our communities, I can potentially fight against it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
or the people that are taken by it.
Mhm. You just gotta know who it is taken by it.
Right.
God, okay. All right.
McCarthyism.
Mhm.
Space McCarthy.
Safe McCarthyism.
Oh, that's Space McCarthy. At it again. Oh no, we laugh through the pain. It's
Back at it again with Space McCarthy.
fine.
This week on Capitol Hill, Space McCarthy
Oh
holds
my God.
Jim Raynor on trial.
Stop.
Your suspicion of can't keep up this bit.
You can't keep on this.
So now that everybody has a war story, after the war, y'all found jobs because capitalism is still a thing.
Yeah.
And your profession represents your expertise and career that you have established on Polvo in the decades since the war. You can be a builder, you can be a veteran, you can be a leader, or a scholar.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
We can
Do
find
it.
out.
This is it.
Do
We
it
can
to it,
build
y'all.
the whole time. I am a scholar, and for that, I get the tags research, analysis, and debate, which is what's cool is that I already had research and debate, so I get those twice. And
Yeah.
then I am a xenobiologist, which gives me, if I could find it, xenobiology, ecosystems, and invasives.
Ooh.
Invasives. Ooh. You know firsthand if an invasive species are viruses species. No.
Are viruses? They're something.
They're organisms.
Yeah. So we got our xenobiologist. Who else has a job? Whether they like it or not.
I think.
Before all of this,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll be a storyteller. That'll be fun.
You could still be a storyteller.
I
could
feel
just
like
be
you still could be, honestly.
you're the guy at the
Oh,
VA telling stories for drinks.
Yeah. Because
yeah.
you definitely have a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, but they're like I don't know. The angle that I wanted to go with that is completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? You think it won't work anymore? Is what you're saying?
I think the way I had envisioned that like concept of like, well, here's where we came from. I need to remind you all of where we came from. It would be something like, I was a Terran and I grew up on the rolling hills. Like this very pastoral, like pining for the past kind of thing. But I'm no longer interested in that.
But you do have a unique story because the bombardment was very rarely survived. So like there's
true.
value in you have a very rare story to tell. So I mean,
Yeah.
That is true.
The phrase "never forget where we came from" has a very different meaning now,
It
right?
does. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think I'm leaning closer to something like either builder or veteran. Because like the being part of the war, I think almost not necessitates, but I think it's more closely, I think, calls if you're part of the crescendo war story that like being a veteran might carry over with you the most. At the same time, I'm interested in Wreck Runner, which is a really cool builder specialization of being one of the freelance emergency responders of Dirt, the planet that we're on, who go anywhere to rescue those in need. Hundreds of people each year owe their lives to the wreck runners, and those debts are always repaid with interest.
Ooh.
Interesting.
So I'm just leaving these on the table because I'm thinking about them.
Okay.
I like that, and I also like it because I was thinking of also being a Build-A-Bear.
God.
Yes.
Build that bear.
Hell yeah.
But I was looking at the salvager, but I feel like there's some similar, like there's some complementary things there. Yeah, the tags for the salvager are war salvage, electronics, and barter. And yeah, I just it's literally, you were one of the countless salvagers who extract priceless goods from wrecks. You may work in the boneyards, pulling down ships. You may work in orbit, scuttling old holes. So yeah, I just imagine, like, you know, using my big bear muscles, my little bear muscles, rip stuff apart for salvage.
Wait, that's a good point, actually. Are you like, where on the spectrum of bear are you? Like, are you like polar bear or are you like Ewok? Like, where are we?
I think I've seen an art somewhere that looks a lot more like Ewok, but I'm totally down if you want to be a big old.
I think they're huge.
Are they?
Are they?
Oh, I didn't. The art does also
wrong?
make me think of Ewok. Like,
Oh wait, am I missing Urson art? I feel
Let me
like
see if I can find it. Hang on.
I was thinking of like the bear and the golden compass, like just a bear in armor.
Just a fucking bear.
Yeah, just a regular bear. That's why I
love
asked, like, are you just like a regular bear, like scaled down, or like a different species of bear entirely?
Oh, I love
Oh, that'd be
that.
terrifying to run into if they are just a regular sized bear. That'd be terrifying to run into like a single Urson because they're a pack of 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're like,
Oh god.
The one in the
What did
art
you
has
do?
just like incredible lip game.
Yeah.
oh my god.
Page 218.
Oh, thank you. I like.
Who is their stylist?
I was trying to find it because I
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
That's like somebody went through like the Fenty collection and just like doled this bear up. Dang.
Look at that. Look at that face.
Gorgeous bear.
We stand.
Wait, okay, do you walk on 2 legs?
Yeah. I feel like I could walk on 4 if I want. Does it
let's
say
see.
size? I'm
They
so
worship-
curious. I'm listening.
They're quadrupeds. Yeah. And so they walk on
Worship-
the
Are
floor.
they? Yeah,
Yeah.
they worship stability. They are, yeah, for quadruped. that
but
makes so
they-
much
they
sense
could be,
because
like-
4. I'm such a
Yeah, they got it.
doofus for not thinking of that. Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
then like
Okay.
bears can also like stand up and like
Yeah.
Yeah,
do the
bears
when they
can
need
like
to.
stand. Like there's
Yeah,
like
it's just
a
their primary mode of
standing
walking,
bear,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't read this section. I read the other section.
I want to know how big you are.
Yeah, they say nothing
It's-
about size.
Yeah, I'm looking for
the message.
size and I can't find it.
I mean, if you want to be
Well,
big,
Jess, that's on you.
I guess
Or
it's
small.
on me.
I'm all for either.
Okay, I think they can be quite large, but I think I'm on the smaller end.
okay.
Oh,
So maybe
Okay.
maybe
Maybe
what
it has
what's
to do
a
with like you
Krogan?
not having a 4.
A Krogan?
What's a Krogan?
size Krogan. Oh, from
Oh,
Mass.
that's a Mass Effect thing.
Oh, so they're pretty big. Well, they're like.
They're huge.
I'm trying to.
so
Yeah.
that- I
Krogans?
think the
Krogans are
implication
like
from-
8 feet, aren't they?
I'm trying to
Yeah,
think.
so that's
These
like a
big
bear.
fuck off like frog to like shelled monsters. They're super
I
cool.
love Krogans. They're super cool. Yeah. Do you look up to a Krogan? I guess you do. I'm trying to.
In
What's
the
the
20
shepherd
minutes of Mass Effect I've seen, they do seem way bigger than everybody else.
Okay.
can be.
So I still want to be on the. I think they're quite large.
You're
so that
just
makes
small
sense.
for an Ursa.
Oh,
But
you're
I think I'm
grown.
small for a nurse. So I'm guessing more like brown bear size, like maybe.
Cool.
You know,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
as not all the way down. We're not going all the way down to like Ewok or koala or like any like little
No,
guy,
yeah.
but we'll go with like, you know.
So
yeah.
I guess here's I guess a question for me that might do it. So like, I'm assuming now you're kind of between, like, you're either like you're kind of between the size of a belter. Like a belter could be about the same size as you when you're on all 4. Like when you're on your hind legs, you're kind of up in the air and like because if a belter is like a tall human, you're
Yeah.
kind of
Kareem
the size.
Abdul-Jabbar is a belter. and like the rest of us are terrorists.
Yeah.
Okay. But then when you're on all fours, you're kind of like, oh, you're kind of runty. Like it's like, oh, you're like a little small.
Yeah. So if I want to like pretend to be big, I can look quite large if I like stand up and not like puff up. Like I'll look hefty because I'm like considerably.
I like that.
I have a considerable mass. However, when I like go down, I'm like fairly much shorter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I can puff up real big, real floofy.
You floof out the fur.
Yeah.
Is it black bear or brown bear for size difference? Because
You have boots with the fur, though.
I saw it coming.
Sorry. What was I gonna say? You said like I'm thinking because black bear is like one of the smallest large bear, so I'm thinking more brown bear, like a size up, So, not the teensiest big bear, though, like a medium big bear, not a grizzly or a polar, smaller than that.
Okay.
Not as weird looking as a sun bear.
I'm really just looking up brown bear size versus human so that I can picture this.
Sun bears are the belters of bears.
Oh, no.
And I love sun bears, so this is not an insult.
Sun bears don't look real.
No.
No, those are people in fursuits.
Exactly.
Not good fursuits, like bad fursuits.
Amazing.
And I love them. But dang.
Why is everybody just like, I love, I'm gonna insult sun bears, but I love them. Like, y'all think the sun bear is gonna rise up and like come after you one day for comments?
I don't want to get canceled by Sun Bear Twitter.
Kevin, we are normalizing criticizing things you love. Listen.
I normalize criticizing everything, like whether I like it or not.
Whether you love it or not. Just open
Yeah.
season on criticism.
Sun bears freak me out. They are weird and they freak me out.
Well, I'm not one of those, if that makes you feel better.
I mean,
Kevin-
you're not like a person in a fursuit.
No,
So-
I'm gonna put a goddamn sun bear Ursa in this game, and you're not gonna be able to stop me.
That's fair. I mean, can
You have to
we
put 4.
I had to put 4 of them in there.
they're bear-like aliens, so I might come up with some more alien qualities. Listen. Chill
Yeah,
out.
hell yeah.
I'll make this. I
Like-
mean, they do
like a
have those
great face
amazing
of makeup.
human lips. Like, come on. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at
for
them.
sure.
Look at that.
Oh my god.
Uh.
What if sun bears are just Ursans? That
If you're like a bubblegum
So long
pink
ago.
bear.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm being
Like an
asked,
ear- like an-
what's my fur color? Do you dye your fur? That makes sense. Like,
That's a good one. Yeah, you can have like iridescent, slightly.
ooh, yeah. I'll have to think about that. I'll have to think about exactly what I want to.
Yeah.
You could have you have an aesthetic to push. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I have to think about the aesthetic of my bear now.
You gotta build your bear.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Stop.
It was already out there, and yet it still hits just as hard the
It
second
still
time.
hits just as
They
hard.
should just call the character creation for Ursa's Build a Bear Workshop. Put it in the second
Oh,
edition.
you are a builder.
I'm a
You're a
builder
builder.
bear.
There it is, a workshop. Fuck.
Oh, this is very good.
I might have thought about you know. I knew I wanted to be
I
a
just
builder,
thought
but I
about
hadn't put together Build a Bear until just now. Until like I said it
I
just
mean,
now.
deep
I was
down
like,
you had. You just hadn't
I
cognized.
Unconscious.
probably I felt it in my heart, like in my heart of hearts, like.
You knew what was up.
So with that, Simon, have you landed on one of those options? Like knowing
Well,
that
I see that Vidita's landed on veteran.
Yeah, I thought I'd just put it down.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I honestly like organizer. I could see that.
Mhm.
I also could see medic because this
Yeah.
character is so much on like, I know how to blow stuff up. I know how to kill people. I've had to kill people. I've had to survive, but I also can keep people alive. That is interesting to me.
Mhm.
And so I think I might also go with the veteran, but pick medic as
Ooh.
my sub spec.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Oh, the more we
That
build-
also gives me training in memetics, which might be interesting and important if the song is back.
yeah.
You know, given that it's a mimetic virus.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually kind of interested now. Like we started this saying that we'll probably be butting heads a lot, and I'm curious now, like what specifically we'll be butting heads about, because
For sure.
we do actually overlap a lot. I feel now it's like
You're butting heads because you're actually similar and you hate it.
oh,
Yeah,
100%.
You've never met somebody that's like just so much like you. You see all of your own flaws in them.
Mm-hmm. Or the other way. I don't know, Simon. I'm assuming you're older than me, so it's like this child
I've got
is
to
about
be.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this child is going down the wrong path.
This 18-year-old who thinks they're cock of the walk and has
Oh yeah,
seen it all before, kid. They give you the badge, they give you the uniform. You think you can just walk all over everybody, right?
They gave me a mech suit. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, spend 20 years in the real world. We'll come and talk.
Oh my god.
Like people who join the military for like free school, and then you have like people who are in their early 20s, like in the military, and then they come back and they're like, "Oh, that's not real life."
Yeah.
Like interesting opportunity for commentary there.
Oh
That, like
jeez.
ROTC shit.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's how they get you.
Oh jeez. I'm probably, but for next session, I'm probably gonna do a little bit more research so I can like respectfully talk about military life a little bit more.
Yeah. I need to read the ecology section so that I know what the heck is up with xenobiology these days.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you get to like really
it?
play around with that whole section.
Yeah.
Jason
Yeah.
in chat said that you have like 18 to 20 pages of it.
That rules.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, and he's been tweeting out all the xenobiology stuff. Like he did a whole thread because he's like, "Hey, there's a show coming out. Gonna start talking xenobiology." Like,
Oh yeah. Okay, so I guess that's and then I got so Simon, you're being a medic.
Yes.
And then I didn't say it out loud, but I'm also going veteran. Again, pushing what a veteran is, kind of in terms of the actual lore of the game. Because again, I think my character never actually saw like battle, but was like trained for it, but never really deployed. And then I'm going grunt. So this would maybe be his first assignment, or their first assignment. I don't know what they're. So I get weapons, brawls, and athletics. So I get weapons twice. I know a lot about my weapons.
Twice the weapons.
Yeah. And then also as a veteran, you get weapons, tactics, violence. So we just have a violence tag.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but Viditia, I just imagine, just because you said that, I imagine your character going like, "This is a weapon. This is a weapon."
Oh my fucking god.
No, oh my god. Oh, that's so good though. I've like to fight the song, you have to train your one true weapon, the mind.
Please bring that back, like during like you're fighting with Simon's character and just
No,
that.
yeah. I need to know what the belter has to respond to that. What's the call response there?
Oh jeez.
Because of course the belter soldier veteran has heard that before from the
Oh my
Martians.
god. This is a fortress. Nothing gets through here. Oh, it writes itself. The
Of course
insults
corporals will
write
tell you
themselves.
that.
Yeah.
Great bit. Please don't drop that bit.
Oh no. Oh yeah. No, I like that a lot. The war may have ended, but you'll always be a soldier. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is what I wanted.
Okay.
Sick.
So we have a xenobiologist and what was the exact phrasing? A salvager, a medic, and a grunt. Out here when the song may or may not be back. Who knows?
Who knows?
I
I could swear it's back.
You could swear it never left.
That's true.
It's just you didn't want it to be true that it was over. So I think that we will take a quick break, a 5 to 10 minute break. Please do a stretch, get a water, get a snack. Do whatever you need to do. Take care of yourself. We will be back, and when we come back, we will start working on these characters' beliefs.
Mhm. Okay.
Heck yeah. Thanks y'all for hanging out. See you in a sec. everyone, we're back from break. I hope y'all did a stretch, did a hydrate, all those good things. Let's get back into the cool story stuff, shall we?
Yeah.
Kevin, what's next?
Aw.
So you have chosen your traits and your professions and your war stories. So now we're gonna make some beliefs. The real important thing about this game. So beliefs. This is a game about confronting your beliefs by finding evidence that either reinforces or contradicts your assumptions. A belief is a subjective, controversial declaration. So breakfast is an illusion, maybe controversial to some, but in general is lukewarm for a gameable belief. Each character has two beliefs. Beliefs are statements that the character agrees with and that the player wants to explore during play. So don't make a belief about something you don't want to lean into or play with. Beliefs should be the two most important ideas, questions, or themes that motivate your characters. By creating a belief, you are telling the game master that you would like to see it challenged during the game. When you enter into conflicts that directly confirm or refute a belief, you might gain an insight. You will be able to spend this to ask questions or to pay the price of victory. If you accumulate enough insight, your character will have made a final decision on one of the beliefs and upgrade it to an unchanging conviction. Everybody make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have
There's
a
some
question.
mechanical things in there that we can explore. Yep.
I have a question. It's not mechanical though. So if you
No,
want to
yeah.
go through mechanics, okay, it's about the world and like what
Yes.
counts as controversial in the world that we're building. So like, are things like all species deserve equal rights and treatment? Like, is that controversial? Okay.
I mean, personally, but sorry, I want to know what
Yeah,
Kevin thinks as well.
Like because like sort of for our lines and veils, I would expand racism to speciesism
Okay.
as well.
So it's not
uh,
controversial that we all deserve the same rights. So having
Yeah.
that be a belief would not be a good belief. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think so.
I was
'Cause
like,
we don't wanna-
xenobiologist, advocate for alien species. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll find a
'Cause-
different angle.
I don't really want to play an alienist or like xenophobe. Yeah, xenophobe works for me.
There's the word.
Yeah,
There's the word.
I'll think of different beliefs
Yeah.
that don't involve xenophobia.
Okay. So the game gives us some principles for strong beliefs. A good belief is subjective, philosophical, and controversial. The conceit of After the War is that overwhelming evidence may be enough to convince someone to change their beliefs. Statements that are obviously true or false don't make for strong beliefs. Beliefs may pertain to your origin, or in your family traditions or childhood lessons, to your war story, driving you to either embrace or reject the horrors of the war you encountered, or your profession, the reasons why you practice your craft, or the ethos it taught you. These are a starting point. You may also create beliefs that don't directly relate to your traits.
I have one in mind. I've been talking a lot though. If anyone else has one, they can.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of that, like knowledge, or not just knowledge generally, but like academic knowledge is the key to like freedom, personhood. Because I come from a very like academic background, the idea that like unless you are educated in these specific ways, then you are like not cool.
Oh,
Gotcha,
that's
okay.
an interesting belief.
I am Sad Bear.
I'm
So-
no,
Sorry,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Kevin. No, I was going to say that. Did Sad Bear not go to college?
Oh, no.
There is no college for bears.
I mean, maybe there was, but
Well, yeah, all bear colleges have 4-year degrees. Good job. There it is.
There's only 4 majors though, so
can I also say that while we were on,
There's an Ursa
no.
nature? Is that the joke? There?
There could be like 16 because then it's 4 times 4. There's lots of different
4
stuff.
times
There's
4, yeah.
16 is lots. That's a decent. 4 times 4 is still
Is
an
it-
acceptable 4 number. I will have you know.
But how
But I
many of
realized-
those are accredited universities? That was a stretch. That felt bad.
Everyone's just shaking their heads.
Yeah.
I realized that we're doing 4 episodes, and this is very good.
Oh, that's very
Nice.
Oh fuck.
good. Oh god.
So,
Yeah.
like, to explore, like, what it looks like to challenge that, would it be like, so how you would like that to be engaged with, Dominique? Would that be like people like sort of going like, no, we don't need to know. We could trust like what the corporations and like what our leaders say. We don't like they're smart. Like we vote
What
for them because
yeah,
they're smart. But like, so
I think that like I would think less of people who trust what their leaders say, but
Yeah.
then there would also be potential for conflict because the way like very regimented academia works is that like I am ultimately choosing to trust what my leaders have taught me.
yeah,
So like I think that I'm better than these people who trust the knowledge that's given to them at face value when I'm doing
Mhm.
the same thing just with a different like epistemology.
right. Okay. And is that like sort of with what Jess brings up? Would those that don't have a more formal education, would that be an axis for confronting that belief as well, or is that something you're
Yeah.
not as interested? Okay.
Yeah, I would be interested in like I think that like maybe I would think like, oh, you don't have formal training in this arena, therefore you cannot possibly know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
could be convinced by someone who speaks like knowledgeably and authoritatively on their field. I could be convinced that there is value in like other ways of learning or like more experiential learning.
Yeah. They
like,
got,
I
the field
might-
experience as opposed to like the classroom, like,
Right.
learning for the same thing.
But I would come in believing that like if I studied it abstractly, then like I must know the most about this thing.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to figure out how to condense that into like a short phrase.
Knowledge is power.
Yes, let's just do that.
That's actually pretty good.
And like us knowing the context is like
Mhm.
very important and good, but like having that phrase down, I think we know.
That's a very fascinating belief because it can be pushed in really interesting ways. Like
Yeah.
I think that's really solid. I could see you like doubling down on it or like, being like, I was wrong. I think and both are very interesting character.
I feel like because I have the double debate trait, I'm gonna end up being like, debate me, and then it's gonna be super hard to convince me otherwise because I am like min-maxed in debating.
Mhm.
So I feel like mechanically,
I mean, that's how you get convictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to end up becoming a conviction, or that mechanically getting me to challenge this belief will be difficult.
That's really cool.
But there's a lot of room to challenge it, but it'll be hard for someone to like meaningfully challenge it.
Mhm.
Do you have an idea for your other belief, or would you like to circle back?
No, let's go around because I have to think about my other one.
Perfect. Who has an idea for a belief?
Let's look at me.
While y'all think about it, some of the sample beliefs given by the text are: family is a chain to be broken. Violence is the best teacher. Only the strong survive. Peace prevails. Mars Corp knows best. Humans are dangerous. The song is divine. Anger is a gift. Infections must be exterminated. Polvo yearns for liberty. Yearns is capitalized. What is sorry. The Union can return. Those are some of the examples given by the text. If that helps spin some gears.
I think my character is definitely like dancing around a belief as well. Because again, like the whole idea of like, I've trained to be in the war, but the war is over, and now I'm here, and I'm like kind of convinced that the song is back, and like the war isn't over. Like I'm still needed as a soldier versus like a grunt. I'm dancing around a belief here that I know is like there, but I'm just not necessarily landing on like a phrase, right? And I'm not sure whether or not I want the belief to like line with like, the song isn't gone or something like that,
Mhm.
you know? Which I like, I know we never, like, because that's what we're exploring in the session. So I don't know if that's necessarily worth
Yeah.
being so forward about.
Mhm. Yeah, because then
Um,
you'd automatically get like
I'd be like, oh, good. I was right.
either yes or no. Like it's sort of like
Hmm.
as
Well,
players,
then
we know
you still
it's like a
replace the
threat, but like
belief,
yeah,
Yeah.
and when it
but
becomes
that's
a
just like
conviction,
it's like whether you want to sort of have that replaced pretty quickly or not. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or like it becomes a conviction.
How?
Genesis. Oh,
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Genesis of Legend in chat actually
Mhm.
kind of chimed in and said, "A soldier never rests," or "I still hear the war drums." A soldier never rests, I think, is kind of the idea of where I was going, where it's
Yeah.
like I refuse to be like to
It's
stop.
it's less that the war didn't end, and it's more that there's still some things free to do with like this training and like sort of
Yeah,
these like sort of
or maybe it's
utilities you've been given and things.
it might be more like I like to think. Okay, like an image is forming of my character, and I think they think of themselves as like a loaded gun. But it's like I am a loaded gun on a table.
Yeah.
And I have a purpose and I'm ready to be used for it, but nobody is picking me up. Is kind of like the idea.
Have you seen Jarhead, the movie Jarhead?
Nope.
It plays a lot with that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think about how to turn that into a soldier never rests is probably a really good way to just kind of put it though. I think that
put it as
does.
a placeholder for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's just
I-
like the
Like,
tag.
tweak your
Then we know
phrasing.
the context around it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when you
Like-
first said it, I was going to ask, but I feel like it's way, way, way too harsh. Would be like the war isn't over, like in your mind. But I feel like that's too much. Like,
You could say my war is never over, isn't over.
Yeah.
Makes it personal.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Because you mentioned like you thought that like maybe you have family on the front lines, things like that.
Mhm.
So you've felt that kind of sting of war.
like oh, it was my turn. Because I think about I was kind of thinking like it's this idea of like like Americans who have generations that fought in different wars. It's like my granddad fought in World War One, and then
oh yeah,
my,
like
or,
when,
and then
when's my
dad
war
fought.
till like
Yeah, like when is and I'm like on the fence whether or not that's exactly where I want to push this. I think I might think about it a little bit, but like that's like I guess a kind of caricature I'm thinking of, or not a character, like an archetype.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of, right? Okay, cool. I got one. So let's we'll go to somebody else if somebody has another one.
Well, for me, I as a resistance-based character, I always think back to Emiliano Zapata and what he said during the Mexican Revolution, which was that I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Oh,
And I think that is absolutely like the kind of I can see that how that becomes a conviction one way or another. That kind of like you die fighting for what you believe in or for liberation, rather than live as like a servant of someone else's ideals. I'm also playing with the idea of like everybody fights.
Ooh.
But the other phrase that came into my mind, like that is like kind of not, I don't see interesting ways in which that is challenged. I just see ways in which that is like reinforced. But the one that I think is a little more challenging is like survival is a choice.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Like that is very harsh. Like you choose, like the people that died, like they could have kept going if they wanted to keep fighting.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And as a
Oh,
medic
fuck.
too, it's like, no, you have to choose to stay with me. Like I know that there's
that's
like,
harsh, but like
Yeah.
it's
interesting.
really harsh.
It's interesting story wise.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
When-
I want to meet that person. Like, but
Would you play with a
I-
character who has that
I
belief?
cannot imagine a healthcare worker with that belief.
Yeah. Holy
yeah.
well, like, and that's the thing is like, so this character was not a medical professional.
No, yeah, they
Like they learned how to become a medic kind of
Oh, yeah.
during the war, I think.
when this character
Um,
has that moment of like, stay with me, hang on, like you're not like saying that to be like calming
Yeah.
to them or like encouraging. You're like, no, you it's like it's
You
up to you.
have to.
I think it's
yeah.
more interesting if it's like it's more personal, right? Like
Okay.
if someone dies in my care, I had the chance to save them.
Oh, I see.
That's a lot more like self-aggrandizing. Like
Yeah.
if they die, it's my fault.
Right. Okay.
I can always, like, everyone can be saved.
Mhm.
That's a like,
I do like
and
that,
that
yeah.
could extrapolate into like a lot of different directions. Like
Right.
there's that puts a glimmer of hope on a really, really
Mhm.
dark toned character otherwise.
I think
Yeah,
if
I
you're
like-
interested, I feel like everyone can be saved is like a more.
That's what I was gonna
poignant-
say. I really like
Everyone
everyone
can
can be
phrase it.
saved versus the other thing you said. Like,
We talked ourselves into it.
Does
Yeah.
that also play into like redemption, like saved physically, but what about like, can you save people from like bad ideas?
Right,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I'm going with that. I think
oh,
that's
does
really
that mean you
powerful.
think people can be saved from the sun? Like, you're like,
Right.
This-
Yes.
yeah, some of that,
Exactly
yeah.
what we
Like,
were
maybe.
going to.
Oh, that's really good. Also, again, I'm like, now I'm very curious about our relationship because it's like if I'm a piece of shit and like we have all these conflicting ideals or similar experiences, it's very
I
cool.
think that's also interesting too for a revolutionary who's like very
Mhm.
much like Mars Corp is destroying these people,
yeah.
and it's not like
Yeah.
you cog in the machine. It's like, don't you
Right.
see what these people are doing to you?
Oh my god.
Have you opened your eyes and seen like what's happening? Like you know you're smarter than this.
Yeah.
You
There
know.
you go.
Oh yeah. And then I'm like someone who's like closed himself off. Who's like, no, like if I open the box, then I like see atrocity. And I'm like, I am a soldier, it's who I am. I can't open my box, you know?
Mhm.
Don't force it on me kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, and that makes me think that like your grunts sort of beliefs and things and like whole build would
Mhm.
conflict with the xenobiologists like knowledge is power. Like, no, you blindly follow orders. You blindly follow the
Oh
orders of the
hell
corporation,
yeah.
Yeah.
of the chain of command, all this shit. And like
Yeah.
you're still on that track, like even after the war's over. Like, oh, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you might feel like you have more experiential knowledge, but I'm like,
Mhm.
well, you just do what you're told to do, and therefore, like, all of your convictions are like worthless to me.
Oh god.
And like you've seen like some battles, so you know like when people don't follow orders, that's when people start dying. Or at least that's what command tells you.
At
Oh,
least
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
you've been taught.
Yeah.
That's what I've been taught. Oh, I love
That's
that.
what all the
this is
Sims
great.
tell you.
It's all my combat sims too. Yeah. My my power suit talks to me.
I'd like to correct my earlier remark. It is not Iron Man 2 where he parks the suit outside of the restaurant. It is in fact Iron Man 3, and that's been bugging me for the past 2 hours. If I'm being
thank
frank.
you.
So
Ah.
save your tweets.
I just hate being wrong about the MCU. Okay, I love the MCU unironically.
Oh hell yeah.
And on the subject of power suits, I had the wrong Iron Man movie.
You had the wrong Iron Man movie. I also thought it was 2.
No, because it has to have been after the Avengers because he's having a panic attack and he has like trauma from the Avengers, so it has to have been Iron Man 3.
Is
Yeah.
2 not after Avengers?
No, 2 is before.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the whole drinking problem thing came out of
No.
the
Did
Avengers.
it? Am I wrong again? Honestly, like, if I'm wrong again, someone fight me. I'll dox myself so that you have my address.
Debate me. Oh my god.
No.
Ah. Well,
They have 2 dice in debate. You don't want to debate.
You don't want to do
debate
that.
me. All right. Well, we have some sad stuff. What's our
So,
bear even?
yeah. Let's,
oh no, I thought the only thing I've thought of so far is sad, and I don't know if I want to do it.
do
Well,
it.
we have
Well, you
two
can
beliefs.
challenge it, right? If it,
Yeah.
No, but I don't think I don't know if it necessarily works. I don't know if it necessarily works. The challenge to it is the sad part, which is the
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, the challenging it, like handing this shiny thing to Kevin is asking to be like stabbed in the heart. Like it's Okay.
Well, if
Well,
it makes you
okay.
feel any better, beliefs, you're also handing it to all the players as well,
Yeah.
specifically.
So everyone, okay, so I'm opening it up so everyone can stab me in the heart. Okay, cool. I don't necessarily want to do this, but for my bear build, my Build-A-Bear, I almost like the idea that they have it in their head. They have a belief that if they build up walls strong enough, they can protect anyone inside. Like they can keep the song out if they just
Oh, that's good.
build a strong enough enclosure. Like if they just build something sturdy enough, the song can't get in. The song can't. They can protect their loved ones with strong enough walls. Like
Yeah.
And like, so to sort of explore that, like we've established in our safety tool in the ask first section, challenging beliefs is ask first. So like, while it is part in my imperative and my role to challenge your beliefs, I will like check in and everything like that, because like consent is a thing we all want to be on even playing field and fair. So I might not necessarily be like, oh, and all of a sudden somebody you love is infected by a song. It might just be like people confronting you saying like, no, that's not how it works. Like if we build up strong enough walls, we can't let people in. And if we don't let people in, then we're just going to starve out and die. Like that's not a way to live. And like, that's like trapping yourself and imprisoning yourself is not a way to live. Like, so it could be an ideological sort of challenge instead of like an actual infection. If that's what you're concerned about.
I like that. Is it interesting enough for other people? Do you think that's like a good enough belief? Like,
Yeah, honestly, like strong walls protect us. Like
strong enough walls will protect
pushing you
us.
to confirm or deny that, I think, is an interesting character arc.
And then
because you could ultimately decide that, like, yes, walls will save us. Like if we're protected, if we have strong defenses, then we'd never have to like leave them or whatever.
And then like the ways I see other characters challenging that, like Simon's Belter's belief that everyone can be saved, like closing yourselves off, that's that's like sort of giving into the fear and like denying that people can be saved, like by like sort of over like being, I don't know, like sort of I can't think of a proper word, but like almost hypochondriac about it. Like then like you're denying the fact that like there's a possibility of being saved and things like that.
Yeah.
Like that could be a challenge there. Or the fact that Viditya's grunt is a loaded gun and like is ready for the song and like not like wants the song to be back, but like thinks it's there. It's like you've been trained like that defense is not the way, offense is the way. So that counters building walls. And then Dominique's xenobiologist, like by only looking at this one facet that doesn't like sort of holistically think of the issue and things like that. So that's like not being academic about it. It's not exploring different options and like using the scientific methods, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think there's different ways to engage with that.
Should I simplify it down to something like I can protect every like I can, you know what I mean? Like, should I simplify it down to something about, like you said, defending or protecting, or
it could be like, a strong defense is
all we really need. Like,
is all we need. Yeah.
And that can be like beyond the point that like walls can be potentially a dangerous line to tread, but like like defense in general about like keeping yourself blocked off from other people in addition to like protecting other people, like
like a hard shell.
You know, those shelled bears.
We are
turtle
back to the
bears.
armor.
More
We're back
reason
to
for me to think of the armor from what's it called? The Golden Compass.
Yeah,
oh my God,
Dominique, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, like, hey, you were right. You were right. I'm just an armor bear.
You're just like a bear in a full suit of armor.
I'm just an armor bear now. I just scrap for armor. Do a protect.
Is it like
all protect, no attack?
Yeah.
I also kind of have a question. Is it like kind of closing off also? Like, could it be pushed in that sense where it's like, hey, if we, like, you as a character, I guess, like, would you be open or closed off in that belief as well?
See, I think the way I view it is that that they would be probably overly protective of their little clan, of their little.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And like to confirm, y'all, everybody else is cool with being in like this cell clan for some quadruped
Love being in the
with-
bear clan.
with the bear.
Mhm.
Okay, so that means like y'all have a pretty close relationship and like interact with each other a lot. You may not work together, but like you intersect a lot within the community. Socialize.
We are friends. We are friends, and the bear ties our friend group together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're friends or something.
Yeah. Is it okay with everyone if my bear considers y'all found family?
Yeah,
Oh, 100%.
absolutely.
So it's,
I wanna.
Just want to check.
Yeah, we have a bear through line, and it's adorable.
Like the idea that like we don't always get along, but like the bear is actively trying to like hold this friend group together.
Oh my god.
And is like, I get that you had a fight with so and so, but you guys have to like talk about it and like communicate, because this like group
There's
of people having, you know, group cohesion is important to me.
Oh yeah, and like the belief kind of comes in as well, where you're like, there's cracks in our defense. That sounds very clinical, but it's like that mentality of like you know, we're not holding strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, that actually says like a lot about, or that started to get me thinking about like, you know, it's like the song is invasive to the mind. So it's like, oh, if like one person, and like Dominique, your character literally was that one person who was not a part, like who
Right.
saw it happen to everyone else around them, and that's gunked up.
Yeah. Big
In a way that's
yikes.
perfect for this game.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
plays into the game well.
I have a second belief, I
Perfect.
think,
That's it. Good.
which I'm extremely open to workshopping it. But I want it to be that like anger is uncivilized. I just want
Ooh.
to play someone who like does not get angry, or who like does get angry but denies
Mhm.
being angry.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm not
Yeah.
angry. What are you talking about?
Right? Yeah. Because
Oh,
like
you're
anger
just
is a
the
bad
mom.
thing. I'm not angry. I'm just upset.
Oh my
That's
God.
interesting.
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
you're
because
also-
like in the tension of the game, people are gonna get heated,
Right.
And like whether that's valid or not, like in your character's eyes.
Mhm.
To be like judging other people for their anger, but also avoiding situations that I know will make myself angry.
And then another way to challenge that would be like to show you other characters who like bottle up that anger and like see how that's destructive. in a
Right.
way.
Or people who are angry and use that anger you use that anger in like for good.
Oh yeah.
People who are angry and use that anger in constructive ways, and let that anger like drive them towards positive action, and seeing by example that maybe like denying your anger is not always the healthiest.
Mm.
For better or worse, some of our military characters might embody
Yeah.
that.
Mhm. Okay.
So those are my beliefs.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Good game of beliefs. Who's got another belief?
Hmm.
No, I'm not even gonna joke. No.
I don't know what we're gonna say.
I was gonna bring up sandwich debate.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All sandwiches must have 4 sides.
Four side.
Four sides.
Never cut a triangle.
So
Never
a
cut them
sub
into
doesn't
triangles.
Yeah.
count. Right.
Yeah.
So just take a loaf of bread, cut off the
triangle-
2 ends, hollow
Yeah.
it out.
Triangle sandwiches are forbidden. Like.
Oh my god.
A brioche right out.
Ciabatta, get the fuck out of here.
Oh my
And don't even get me started on a croissant witch. I'm thinking about a second one that's something like because Belters are so resilient, right? They have to fight for everything they have. They're used to living out in the fringes of space and society. And also this character has a background in like surviving on a planet that's being bombarded for months. I imagine there's like a lot of pragmatism.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking something like everything has a use, or like everything and like parentheses and everyone has a use. But I don't know how
Okay.
controversial that is.
Yeah. I can think of ways to challenge that in ways that I don't feel comfortable with, like going
Yeah,
into
that's
gross,
the other
like,
thing. That's the other
casino
kicker.
stuff. And
Because it's a lot of like, well, you're like a worthless POS, blah 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 blah, right?
Yeah.
like the other way to engage that would be like somebody who's like all high and mighty and like thinks like, oh, this person's an alcoholic, and like they're like this important member of the group is an alcoholic, and therefore they are not useful because of this one flaw.
Right,
Things like
right.
that. But that feels very limited way to confront that.
It feels like it is not out of place within the scope of the game world, but within our slice of the game world, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
click.
Mm-hmm.
The gear thing is like maybe it's more about finding a place for people. So it's like it still kind of dehumanizes people in a way that's like maybe like optimization. It's like, you know, like if we put people in the right places, and there could be like a kind of like a aggressive mentality that goes with it, where it's like you're not working in a place that you should be, or like this isn't exactly like, you know what I mean?
That could be like the corporate version, but like maybe the more soft version is like everybody has their calling, and like what like maybe they are working as another salvager, but like really they want to be an artist, but like society doesn't allow for that, and because capitalism and sorry, I'm just
Yeah, I don't know if I also
Yeah.
don't know if this is like pushing further and further away from that initial idea. Okay.
I wonder if there's something about also playing with the Belter lifestyle versus like having to be on a planet. It's like, this is where we live now.
yeah.
It's not space. And so maybe there's
Oh.
something like, we can go back.
Mhm.
Like this
Ooh.
is like Polvo is temporary.
Oh, that's an
Like
interesting.
this is
one,
not
actually.
home. This is like a way station
Yeah.
on the journey back up there. But like so, and like maybe the character talks constantly like, well, so when we get back out there, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I like
Would
that.
that also translate to like decreased motivation to improve conditions on Polvo because you're like, oh, this is all temporary anyway?
I think it's something like that. Maybe if I go that route, then it's like, well, like yes, we should have shelter and we should have food and all these things, but let's not get attached
Mhm.
because
Right.
eventually we're gonna leave here.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
maybe
it's fine,
that
just
leads to
duct
like a
tape
very
don't need to
Spartan
weld that.
lifestyle that's like,
Mm-hmm.
I have only what
I
I
own
need.
one pair of socks because I will not live on this planet forever.
Right.
Yeah, I do actually really like that idea. That's a very interesting belief to bring into the game, because then it does bring into the idea of like, you know, like let's say this like the song starts coming in and it's like, oh well, like we just gotta go.
We gotta
Like,
go.
it-
The problem is that we settled down, we got complacent,
Mm-hmm.
and now look what happened. If we were constantly moving, we wouldn't have this problem.
Mhm.
That's really interesting. How do you think that like kind of blends in with your background of like being in the war?
I think I'm not entirely sure, because I think like as a Belter, used to being out in the space and like floating around,
Mhm.
and kind of bouncing between places and like, I don't know, hitting Mars Corp satellites and things like that. But like that resistance was like probably the most time that they were ever on a planet
Mhm.
at a given time. And like, oh, now you're gonna put me back on here? Maybe
Nothing-
it's something like that. Like it being on Polvo is like a reminder of like being like trapped.
Oh damn. Nothing good
Ooh.
happens planet side.
Yeah, that's hey, that might be it. Honestly,
That's the
That's a pretty
juice.
good one.
Yeah.
because like bad things happen in space, but we can like at least escape them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that as like a conviction. Yeah. So that sky is way too big. That's also like there's something about everything's a bit off.
I'm gonna call it something like a planet is never home.
Ooh.
A planet is never a home.
There we go.
Love
Because
that.
that
Yeah.
ties into our whole general like this is a community that we're building,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and maybe this person gets really cynical and is like, yes, I'm right, this is
Mhm.
terrible. We should go back to space. And maybe it's like, no, this is my trauma speaking.
Mhm.
Maybe
Yeah.
there is something to this community. All right, I've taken up too much screen time.
No, I love that.
That was really just like watching you develop that was very cool.
And then, like, do you still want to like lean into like the aspect that nothing good happens planet side? Like maybe there's not safety on planet side. It's better to, up in space, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
I
harder
think
to
that's,
lead.
I think that's
Like,
implied
ways
because like
for
a home is
okay.
safe.
Yeah.
Do you
relatively
think
speaking.
do you think the song won't reach you, or like will have a harder time reaching you if you're in space?
I think it's like we can outrun it.
Right.
Oh, that's pretty
But
good.
then,
Because on a planet you're stuck, like you can still go all around the planet, but no matter where you go, like eventually something's gonna find you.
Right.
by my understanding, Veneman Station was like, it seemed like an orbital station, like up there. And our xenobiologists, if they were part of the first contact, they saw firsthand like how the virus spreads in what is otherwise a tin can up in
Right.
Yeah.
space. So like that's a good way to challenge that.
That's a great way to
Mhm.
challenge it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you
So
kidding me?
something
I
where
was in this tight space and look what happened here.
Maybe
Yeah.
on a planet you have room to run, room to isolate,
Mhm.
as opposed to like if it gets you and you're on a spacecraft, it's getting everyone on that spacecraft.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless
think
you
that's
are
a-
like for some
And then-
reason immune like I was.
That spacecraft helps it spread if that spacecraft lands somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
seen the I think it's called Life, the science fiction horror film?
Oh, I didn't watch it. No.
Life.
Okay.
Wait, is that the
it's
one with like Ryan Reynolds
And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this
not-
cast?
There's there's a moment about like what happens with a spacecraft that's contaminated lands
Mhm.
and spreads whatever is
Yeah.
on it, without spoiling too much, that
Mhm.
I'm thinking
Mhm.
of right now. It's an interesting movie. I enjoyed it.
I
Yeah.
thought it was good. Yeah.
But I also like it's like it's much harder to leave atmosphere than it is to just get on a shuttle on a spacecraft and just fucking
Yeah.
it's like
Mhm.
there is a lot of like
There's a lot of interesting intersection for that movie to
Mhm.
play off. That's good.
And, like if you're on a, I feel like you, yeah. I'm just agreeing in different words.
Such as language.
I think I might snipe the like everyone's a piece of the greater puzzle, like kind of corporate ideology that could then lead to again, my grunt is like it's like, oh, like I am like we are a cog in the machine, but
Yeah.
like the machine is beautiful and like this is who I am and you need to find your place kind of thing. And it's like, I'll help you with it, sure, but like don't get lost. If we're okay with kind of like that as a
Yeah.
belief.
Strength in numbers.
Mhm.
Like people thinking their place is different than what you think their place might otherwise be. And
Yeah.
like sort of what their skills lean them towards as opposed to like what their passion leans them
Yeah.
towards.
And-
something like that.
And I think like it reflects personally in this like idea of like all my life I've just been a soldier and like that's who I am. I am a soldier and this is it. And like now here again this like idea of like, well, I'm more a bodyguard against like natural like endemic life and
Mhm.
like what we're just like a colony we're setting up, like we're not fighting a war. I'm standing here just making sure like what somebody doesn't steal extra supplies or
Right.
and so it's
Love
like
it, yeah.
kind of like finding my place again, and similarly that like looking for a war to fight I like mentality, refusing to like take up another position. If we want to talk about like maybe like scarcity of workers, where it's like, hey, you could help us with building or rec runs or something.
Right,
I'm like, no, I'm a soldier. Like no, right? You do your thing, I'll do mine, kind of deal.
Oh, that's very good. And like I could see the ways a lot of folks can challenge that too. Like, yeah, you're told this place is your place, but like the xenobiologist says, like, but like, have you examined that? And like, you're fitting yourself into this box does not like look at the greater picture. You only have knowledge of so much, and you have no power anymore, even though you're facilitating this whole thing. And then, yeah. And then reinforcing, like on a space station, like for Belter, like everybody needs to know what they're doing, because if not, everyone's life is at risk on a space station, because you're in a tin can in space.
Yeah.
Right.
Otherwise.
Yeah. And like, I feel like that's a very Martian mentality of like, we are, Mars Corp is fine. Like, it's like Mars Corp, you do what you have to do. You were told what you do what you were told, kind of deal, right? And it's fine. Oh, I'm gonna be playing somebody who's like, just capitalism is great, let me tell you.
And of course, like our Earth sign, like a company is just a big family. There's roles to fill in the family.
Only if it's in multiples of 4.
I was literally about to say that, as long as it's multiple, like, exactly. As long as it's divisible by 4, it's good.
I'll work through what the belief is specifically, because I'm thinking like, I really like the imagery of like cogs in a machine, but I want to know like how to spin that maybe a little bit more of a positive, like in a like positive facing light. That's like, oh no, like it's fine,
This is a positive and fun experience that we're having together.
Yeah.
Being cogs in the machine. This is just how friendship works.
You don't want to be a square peg in a round hole, right? Jess, does our Ursa friend
I don't know. I'm trying to think of another one. Gosh. Mars Corp needs us all. Oh no. Sorry. Reading chat. I'm like trying to look through my tags and see. I can't think of anything that's like a good challenge. Like I'm trying to think of something that's like fun to question, right? Like
let's see.
Your war story is the silence, right?
Yeah, the silence.
It was Echo. No, not Echo.
No.
Rendered
Rendered aid. So it's resettlement, refugees, records.
There's some. I mean, you're also a salvager, so there could be something about like reclamation and what like rebuilding or never letting go kind of things that could be pushed.
Yeah, see, because I came to the same like how Simon was saying, like everyone is useful as like all scraps useful. That's not interesting. That's not like, you know what I mean? Like that's not challenging enough.
I mean, as the silence, what was it rendered aid? Sorry, it had something that cued an idea.
Sorry, I can.
No.
No one should be discarded as like a good.
So rendered aid.
Nobody gets left behind.
Yeah.
The Permancer came to offer aid to the humans of Polvo. You helped coordinate supplies, direct refugee traffic, and establish official inquiry into the war. Were you part of the Permancer, or were you just there when it happened?
Is the Permancers are the keepers, the horse people. So did I come with the Permancer? Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah. The Permancers are a stoic and dutiful species resembling disgruntled bipedal horses.
How do you? I'm bipedal horses. My brain cannot.
They're BoJack Horsemans.
I guess
That doesn't
so.
make
I
any
was just thinking that like everything about being a horse involves having 4 legs. Like,
Being
how do you
fun-
imagine
yeah.
a horse that has 2 legs?
I recommend
I
you play
tried
the
to
fantastic game
picture
Chicken
it,
Piece.
and I like my brain just like blue screened. Like I just could
It's so
not.
good.
The
Beta Ray
Permanent
Bill is a good
Masters
one.
are the elder species, caretakers and guardians who brought the galaxy together in peace. They have a singular gift for immunity to the mimetic infections of the song or tormenta.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So like they might have had like an Ursan sort of branch or like I can't think of it, unit, something like that among their fleets that dropped to assist the humans. Were you part of them, or were you just witness to them arriving?
I think it makes sense that I came along with them. Or maybe the Permancers, started all the started to act, and they called for aid and support and stuff like that. And
Maybe tying something to that, like
yeah, I was
It's
thinking that too.
better-
Like unless that's why I was number 5. Unless it's because I.
maybe something like it's better to defer judgment to someone in charge. Sort of
Oh
like-
no. Something like always trust the leader. Like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like I kind of
Or
a
like
blind
wait for
faith
somebody
thing.
to become a leader or something like that. Yeah.
That
Are you cool with that?
yeah, like I hate love it. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
oh no. Yeah, something sorry, I just keep saying oh no over and over again.
if I may, is it something more personal, like I'm not a leader?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely because they definitely consider themselves the support bear.
Yeah, you're always the fifth wheel.
Yeah, you're
The fifth paw.
you're not number 1, you're number 5.
I'm number 5. I'm like the extra. Like before, I was always no good. I was like extra. That's why it's so
I have
good.
a question
that
about your name.
yeah.
Were you like named like 5 and then it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy and you became the odd bear out, or did you take the name 5 because you were the odd bear out?
I was thinking maybe they were orphaned at a young enough age that they couldn't communicate their given name, their original given name. And so they were given the name, which is not like, I mean, if you look at the Ursan names, that's not an Ursan name at all, right? Like
No.
it's extremely not. And in fact, it's almost named by someone who doesn't realize how offensive it would be.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Oh, fuck.
yeah. Like
That's a
it's
whole thing.
yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, I have personal feels about this. Like,
No, yeah.
fair, yeah. If you do want to lean into like I'm not the leader, there's like interesting ways to challenge that, both to enforce it, like showing times when the grunt or the medic or our xenobiologist, when they take the lead on certain things, but also ways to refute it when like no, it's like the mechanical knowledge of a scrapper is needed, and like the knowledge of like sort of an alien, a non-human is needed. Those times when you are put in charge and you are the leader.
yeah,
So
should it be
there's
something like
interesting
I'm
ways
not
to play it
fit
off
to
of.
lead?
Ooh.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's
And then
pretty
you'd
good,
have
yeah.
to like challenge it in situations where you are uniquely qualified by your experiences.
Yeah.
That's pretty
How do you feel
interesting.
about that?
I like that, if that's okay with if that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm with it.
Okay.
if you're on board,
Yeah, because that's
then drive
that's
it as hard as you want.
very directly saying that like like if you're good with us, then pushing you to be in charge, kind of is what it is. It's like it's kind of signaling us to be like, do you like, or to exclusive, like, or to also be like, no, like you're trying to demand something and we shut you off. Because I feel like that's what pushing that.
It's fun both ways. I think it's honestly fun both ways. That like, both having times where like I can't like y'all are, and times where like I have to.
Yeah. And like, sort of, I keep thinking about how like the beliefs intersect, because like it's going to be a lot of player characters like sort of interacting and challenging more so. But like thinking about how the grunts, how they're like everybody like kind of has their place, and like sometimes sometimes your place is the leader, but like sometimes it's not. So like it plays into both. Like contextually, you have a certain place in things, and then with Dominique's xenobiologist, like how like no, you can't just like sit there and be passive. Like you need to know things and like take action and be active and like have the knowledge and sort of both act on that knowledge as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Ooh, okay, good.
So much horse person talk.
I know.
No, shush.
Like I'm almost like, oh no.
We can't tell the internet this.
We can't tell the internet that we're talking about horse people. It's fine.
Aditya, what is this?
It's fine. It's okay.
I can't even go look at this. I can't right now.
Don't.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if it's something like, oh, I can't think of a way to word it, but it's almost like spare parts don't lead. Like spare parts don't spare.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Leftovers.
Yeah, I don't want to like. It's
weird.
Almost. I don't know if that's too much, but like, because
The
that's
spare wheel
definitely
doesn't steer the
how.
car.
Yeah, because that's definitely how they view themselves, right? They've always been the odd one out.
Spare wheel, not a steering wheel.
I'll probably leave it as is, but it's
This is not a 5-wheel drive.
Yeah. Oh, why did I make this sad baby? Why did I do that?
If you're cute, you gotta be sad. If you're sad.
Yeah. It's almost worse. I love like playing into like, look how cute I am. I have the saddest backstory. Just you wait. Like, oh no, I hate it.
Very, very cute, very, very sad little bear friend.
Oh.
Who is not that little.
No.
Deceptively big.
I can do a big.
Small bear.
I can.
How much of the big is floof versus actual body mass?
Small bear, also tall bear.
Oh, that's
Thank
pretty good.
you. How
Small
much
and tall.
mass would you? How much like appearance of mass would you lose?
Shaved bears are pretty curds.
Yeah.
Well, now I have to look up shaved bears. That's my new thing that I'm looking at.
Do it.
I mean, if some bears and shaved bears are like on par.
Yeah.
I regret that. Oh shit, that was terrifying.
No, their reaction.
Immediate pull
I
up.
told you should not.
But I just did an image search for shaved bear, and you saw the moment the page loaded is what you just saw.
Shaved bears are incredible. I absolutely
God.
love them.
I don't want it.
I would take
don't
a
want
shaved
it
bear
in my
over a sun
life.
bear.
I would prefer a sun bear over a shaved bear. To be honest, like shaved bears are worse than sun bears.
I can understand shaved bears more than sun bears. Sun bears don't click for me.
I like how much of our session 0.
I'm sorry. We're just talking about goddamn bears.
Bears and horses. That's
Bear and horse
Bears and horse
horror
people.
story. I'm so sorry. Yeah. For the like, I think it's like if you ever see a bear when they like stand like, because they almost look like they have like extra like mass kind of hanging off, and I think they fill out. I think in real life bears fill out and then like shrink and then fill out and shrink according to the seasons and stuff like that. So I think I have like the room to be big, but I'm not the most big. So it's the sort of thing that like, yeah, I can like stand up and like stretch out and like look big, but I think I probably make myself look smaller a lot of times, like because they're used to
Oh.
being, right? Like they're
But,
You've got like a little, like you say, on all fours. You got like a little bit of a hunch.
yeah,
Yeah.
or like the equivalent of a hunch, like some.
yeah, kind of.
God,
Yeah, they kind of squish in when they like, you know, and then like if they
Mhm.
want to like stand and expand.
Oh, that's good.
Mhm.
And
I
we
like
get that
that.
moment of like you being like kind of very, very pensive a lot of time. And it's like, oh no, I don't want to be the leader. And then like, if that belief ever changes and you have to be the leader, then like you go big and like you go ham.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a like bear sit on its butt and then do something with its paws, like its front paws, and like
Yeah.
just imagining like sitting on my little furry bear butt and like working on working on scraps, like. Like-
That's adorable.
I feel like I just saw a video like maybe a week ago of like bears ripping into like pumpkins, something like that. Just,
Oh
like,
my God.
Really just going to town.
Those were pandas.
Were they?
Yes,
From
yeah.
Richmond.
I love watching animals eat pumpkins. That tiny pumpkin behind me is for my rats on Thanksgiving.
Oh, so
Good
good.
treat.
I'm gonna do a quick hi, welcome on Written Raiders, welcome, hi, thank you. We are playing a game. We're actually doing a session 0, so we're doing all the world building, all the character design right now. Thank you so much for coming on in. We are playing a game. It is called After the War. It does have some tough content. We're talking through a bunch of stuff right now, so please do use the content warnings in chat, but please feel free to come in and sit down and like be part of this, because we're having a lot of fun, honestly, sharing, doing this session 0 and doing this world build together. And we might be discussing how big bears are and what they look like shaved.
This was so much time. Oh my
But-
God.
So horse people.
But
Watch the
also
VOD
there,
for the bear talk.
yeah, but also there is talk of space war. So please, that is something just I want to lay out right on the table for y'all. Aw, shucks. Yeah.
Are we?
So, are those all our conviction? Like, oh, sorry, not convictions.
I think those are all of our
Beliefs.
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 yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Which means we move to settlement creation.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, settlement.
All right, where is this going to take place? I have an idea based on what we've talked about, but there's a couple built-in
Each.
settlements, sort of suggested in the text, or we could build one of our own. The
Wait, do we pick
suggested-
names before we do settlement? Sorry to cut you off.
We do pick names. My bad. I must have clicked the arrow key one more time than I should have. Your name.
Okay.
Great move. You
Sorry.
now that you know your character's talents and beliefs, you need a name. It can be their legal name, a pseudonym, or some other personal identifier. You should also create a title or moniker for your character that represents their personality. Some examples of names and titles are Estrella Zorita, Engineer of the Rosa, Mia Cardival, The Killer, Renee Senez, The Honest Broker, Dr. Zhu Li, Professor of Astrophysics, Aziz Gubers, Pilot Extraordinaire, Seven Koser, Union Organizer, Professor Dezo, Xenobiology Specialist, Lieutenant Buxa, the Ground Pounder,
Oh.
and Dailies, the Unstoppable Reporter. And then we've got a list of common names per each: Origin, Terran, Martian, Belter, Permancer, Illuvian, Mercurio, Urson, and Fundar, the Barbarian.
Okay, I think I have mine. Orla Burton, xenobiology specialist, who uses they, them pronouns.
Orla. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And for those unable to look at the PDF at home or the book at home, the common names are a very diverse set of names. They have some of the Terran names are like Ahmed, Chu, Damir, Lambert, Novak, Sokolov, Wabdaji. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm doing my best. Yosef. They're very diverse. They're really well assembled. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
And also the Martian ones, because Martians are humans that have colonies that have left from Earth cultures, so they share those Earth cultures to some degree, a couple of generations removed.
Okay. Oh God, I'm really bad at last names. That's the problem.
I mean, you could only have a first name.
I could
or
also
like a
only-
nickname.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like,
As a
if you go to PhD school, you got to have a last name on your diploma.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
I had to think of a last name.
Sounds good.
I mean, you got to have a last name because it's your private last name.
Ooh.
Oh, cause I'm like ensign.
Yeah, ensign. Is
Private.
naval?
What are the
Ensign would be naval. I'm not another
what
model.
about the military?
I mean, it depends on how we imagine Titans, because like in some fiction, Titans are more like Air Force than they
Well,
are
I guess
Marine.
I'm like shock troopers is what it kind of feels like.
Yeah,
this
so you'd
world.
probably be more ground forces, Marine.
Yeah.
Ranger, something like that. Army.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, you need a last name.
Yeah. Private is pretty good.
You could do a me and just use your last name.
Oh yeah.
Like,
For your
like,
entire character.
Haven on Wednesdays. All Wednesdays.
No. Probably do Hide. My character's name is Private Vel.
Bell.
Vel. Yeah. You'll appreciate this, Kevin. I'll explain it later. It's fine.
Do you have a like sort of also? Do you have a title?
Oh, I forgot about my title. Well, I guess thinking my title is my rank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't think I have like any like recognition, right?
Mhm.
I kind of do. I have actually been really liking referring to them as just my grunt. So maybe like
Yeah,
people
A
like
grunt.
just call them, there's the grunt.
Yeah.
And probably
Especially since
call
you're so
like a
set
bunch.
in, like, the
Yeah.
hierarchy stuff.
And I'm like open to either that being what people call that's what people sorry. That's what people either call just like that whole division of people or just them. Either or. It's fine. We can figure that out and play.
Simon, does your belter have a name?
I absolutely have my last name nailed down,
Mhm.
which is, I think, some belters, when they find kids, like if they're like orphans or people like something happens to the parents or whatever, and they recover them, they name them after the ship that they found them on.
Oh,
And so my last name is Cadenza, because we're doing some music stuff in this game.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yes.
For those of you who do not know, a cadenza is a moment in a musical piece where an instrumentalist or a singer is given the opportunity to play a solo freely and with artistic license to go outside of a rigid tempo or rhythm.
Okay.
I just want to say, how dare you? That is so good.
do you imagine people refer to them by just their last name, like as
Oh, I think most of the time, for sure.
Okay.
It's just like, hey,
And-
that's what it like. That's who you are, right? You're like, this is the ship that you were on, or that you like worked on, or whatever. At least on Polvo, I think people like, oh yeah, that's that person.
Because that wouldn't be appropriate on that ship, because then you'd be referring
Right on the ship, it's like,
so
oh no,
many
it's
people.
you, right?
Yeah.
Like, here's your name.
It's like when we call JR Hollywood.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
That's your thing.
So, do you have a title for Cadenza?
I'm thinking Sawbones.
Yes.
Because that's probably something that other people would call them
Yeah.
rather than what they go by. Because they're just like a slap. Like they've had to learn how to be. I think they knew how to do some basic first aid. Like, oh, there's got to be cryopods and stuff in this world, right?
There is no.
Probably like had some experience like growing up as a resistance person, like even before doing this. Like, oh well, I got my first gig. Like I grew up on a ship around people that were working on like the med bays and the cryopods and whatnot. So like I know a little bit of like how to take people's vitals and stuff, but nothing like surgery.
Yeah.
And so during the war, it was like I have to try and remember everything that I learned and then build on it in a very dangerous, very traumatic environment.
Yeah.
So I think some people kind of are like, oh yeah, that's the sawbones. As like a little bit of a derisive term, but also as a like, yeah, that's the doc.
Okay. All right. Cadenza the Sawbones.
Love that.
Or Cadenza Sawbones. And Sync, we know your name. Do you have a title?
Oh, I didn't think of titles. Dang it. Oh my goodness gracious. I had not thought of that. Sorry. Is a title necessary? Can I be trying to earn a title? Can I like maybe
like
I
sank
want
first
one?
of your name or whatever.
Oh.
I was thinking of a pun of like Sank, the one, the lonely.
Oh my god.
No.
Let's see. Is there a mechanical reason for titles? I think it's just flavoring.
Yeah.
Just something to like guide your play, I think.
I
Yeah,
feel
we can
like
come
your
back to it.
name is pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Your name
It
is
fills the
a title.
role.
Yeah, because it kind of already is. It's kind of both. It's kind of like they were. Sorry, I decided Sync she her. It took me till just now to decide that. Yeah, because it's kind of a title. I think it's kind of already. It's a name, but it's also a title, and I think that she would love to have another title that is less
Yeah.
unpleasant.
Yeah.
Like, because it's a constant reminder. Like that name is a constant reminder
Of being like the fifth one out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, see, Genesis of Legend in chat pointed out, like, technically that might be my title, and I don't have a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that a lot.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Sank is technically her title.
It's very good. Oh, we have very
Sad
good
bio.
characters. That's all I'm saying.
This bear is so this. Wow, that's sad. Just sad.
Or
She's
it's,
not. She's not sad. She's happy. She has everything she wants now. Technically.
You have your little pod of 4 individuals.
Little quad.
I feel like we're gonna see this bear be sad, and that's the sad.
I feel like Kevin is going to make the bear suffer.
I'm sad to
This
say.
reputation I have.
I'm sad to say that I feel like we're gonna have seeds where like her positivity shining through is almost the sad part. Like,
Question about
like how you're trying to be positive. It's like
I have a question about our lines and veils actually, because we have a sentient bear person.
Yes.
We have a veil on animal suffering and harm to pets. Does that include sentient animals? Like, can Sank come to harm?
Yeah, if it's okay with as the person playing that character, I am okay with that. But if anyone else has issues, then we can adjust.
Yeah, I feel like for me it would be like if the animal, because we also have like the horse-like aliens, if the animal has the capacity to understand what is happening to them, then like they have agency over the situation that they're in. Then that's like different than like hurting like a dog.
Yeah, that doesn't comprehend what's happening in that scenario. I agree.
Right. Yeah. So I think like maybe we reword it as like violence against pets or like not self-aware animals.
Yeah.
Because we have like self-aware animals, and I'm okay with violence against those.
Non-sapient.
Yeah.
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 Thank you.
And of course, we will also defer to our line of no torture, and then also our ask first on violence. Or on I agree, flirting, fighting, push police, player and player violence.
Yeah.
So we'll defer to those. So like it won't be a truck comes out of nowhere and like it won't be any of that stuff. It'll be telegraphed, and like if we'll have consent if you want to buy into that and things like that.
Like we're gonna get into an argument, and I'm gonna be like, I would like to punch you in the face. Is that okay?
I've literally been in games like I was like, my character is mad at your character. Can I punch your character? I'm like, yes, please. And like we had a great moment. It was like, because we talked about it. So good.
Can I punch you? Yes.
Yeah. Please.
They're great. Come over.
Sometimes you have to be like, please,
not
I deserve
stream.
it.
Just come over here.
TOS.
So with that, we have names. We have our characters all built out. The only thing left is settlements, which is a pretty involved process. I do not think we're going to have time for settlements on the stream. I think the one thing we can do is pick the type of settlement at least, of which the suggested ones at least are Barley Mow, a tight-knit farming community where rumor and small-town drama run rampant. The Warframe Yard, a boneyard where salvagers pull scrap from fallen warships. Fort Bly, a military outpost which stands on guard for potential threats. The Vermilion Exchange, a trading post full of exotic trade goods and strange visitors. Daedalus Station, a scientific facility where dangerous research is conducted. Or Port Toth, a spaceport that connects Polvo to the off-world colonies and the fleet. I think, based on like what we've discussed, maybe the Warframe Yard, or maybe possibly Port Toth, possibly the Vermilion Exchange. Those all seem like potential. The Warframe Yard seems a little spot on for like us having scavengers and things like that.
I think that's almost a little bit too spot on. I think it's more interesting to have to scavenge in one of the other scenarios.
Okay.
If that's
I was imagining Barley Mow actually, because it's such a
Barley Mow?
tight community, and if we're dealing with the possibility of like, well, who trusts who, then like if it's already a community that's full of rumors and gossip and stuff, that might be interesting to kind of push everyone against each other.
Yeah.
McCarthyism in a small town.
Yeah. I like that
little
one.
place called Salem, not far from me.
Oh,
To tell you a story about Goody Proctor.
Oh no. So yeah, that's pretty quick to the next thing then. Like if we're doing Barley Mow, what's the industry there? It's farming, fishing, ranching, textile, or lodging.
Any of those stand out to y'all? We pick 3.
Farming, fishing, ranching, textiles, and logging.
And then there's a couple of NPCs there that are attached, which I may take some DM fiat and tweak a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Oh my god, when we form relationships, can I have a fiance?
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
want to be engaged.
That's awesome.
Live your best life.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I love
Here for it.
Playing characters who are in situations that I do not see myself getting to be in. And I think that, I don't know, this is getting emo. Let's not talk about my views on marriage.
Totally cool.
It's that tonight.
You know what? Let me just I will get to that later and ask you off stream.
I kind of like textiles is always just like a fun thing that we can talk about. That fishing similarly is just it immediately kind of puts us in fishing and ranching
Biome.
Yeah, which actually I might even just say ranching might be interesting because then that there's like an immediate tie into like a xenobiologist and
Right.
like
I was going to ask,
Mhm.
like, are we raising, like, fishing for and like raising like native species, or is it
Oh,
things that
yeah.
we've brought here?
yeah,
Probably
Okay,
a
because
mix.
in like native species, then I could be like a farm vet.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I love that.
mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like Harvest Moon, but with more paranoia.
Oh yeah.
I am biting my tongue so hard right now. I went to a university that specialized not just in agriculture but in aquaculture and had so many fish
Oh.
tanks full of like species for like this
jeez.
sort of thing, and you're like, I'm like,
Well, it'd be nice to have. I mean,
Do you have things to teach us?
yeah, because I'm down.
I would love to learn.
Jess,
The amount of
you can-
times I went to a class and it just stank of fish, y'all.
Jess, you can
Or-
you can play other characters and scenes. You can play another xenobiologist and just
Yes.
educate us.
Be my xenobiologist comrade.
Okay, I'm excited now because I'm gonna play. Like, listen, my bear might not know, but because I was almost gonna. Okay, that makes me happy because then I was gonna say logging because I wanted to get to do tree stuff.
Oh,
We don't
well,
have to
do
do that.
trees,
We
do
don't have to
trees.
do
I
that
will say,
though.
I mean, the other thing is like a lot of these aren't necessarily mutually exclusive, right?
Yeah.
It's like we could be primarily fishing, but then probably still have scenes of us needing to log and like needing
Yeah.
to. Well, I guess textiles is very specific, but
And and like in a 3-episode like sort of incidental arc, we're not gonna be able to like deeply touch on everything. So like
Well, we could do one episode for each industry.
Hmm?
Hmm.
It's the names of our episodes.
I'm cool with farming, fishing, and logging. I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that feels like very Pacific Northwest almost.
Yes.
The 3 favorite things that I do in Stardew Valley.
Pacific Northwest, the place that none of us live. I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I'll call up Alex or something. Seattle, where they do a bunch of farming, fishing, and logging.
Oh my god, no.
You sure you want to use that lifeline? It's, want to phone a friend? Let's
Okay.
see. Are we cool pressing a little bit for just questions? And we can maybe do relationships off screen. What do we want to call it?
I don't know how close we are to time, like hard
Hitting
stop,
time right now.
because we're
We're
at
at
time
time.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to y'all's. I don't want to push anyone. Like, why doesn't everyone put in the Zoom chat privately so we don't have
Mhm.
we don't have to have this discussion
Yeah.
here? But
Yeah, I don't mind pushing the questions a little bit.
Yeah.
So, for Barley Mow, if we continue to call it Barley Mow, for this farming settlement, for this farming, fishing, and logging settlement, your settlement is the only producer of a specific kind of good. What do you provide, and why is it prized?
Maple syrup.
oh no! As a Canadian, I am upset that you.
I
Come
will
on.
freely admit that
Hey.
I despise maple syrup.
I don't feel
You
good
do?
about this.
It's too it is too sweet for me. I can't.
Interesting.
Huh.
Wait, no, you can't do this. Hang on. Are you talking American maple syrup? Or are you talking real maple syrup? Because those are, when I go to America and y'all put syrup on the table.
All right, we're
That's-
not talking about like IHOP, boysenberry, store bought, whatever. I, for one, as a proud New Englander, will always go by Vermont as my
Vermont
staple.
grade B from Trader Joe's. Yeah.
I've tapped that
And-
stuff.
I'm glad y'all like it. Not for me.
Even
But
when I was living in California, we always got Vermont maple syrup.
Okay.
I
it doesn't have
do
to be
not have
that.
the money to gamble on Canadian maple syrup, knowing my baseline. I do not like American maple syrup.
That's fair.
Maybe if I come
Um,
up to Canada and they have it at their IHOPs. I don't know.
Yeah. One day in the future world, I'll get you maple syrup. I've literally sent care packages of Canadian stuff down to
Oh my god.
lots of times. It's anyways. Since we have a xenobiologist, I think it might make sense to do the fishing. Like, did you want to have like special, like you're literally tapping into trying to get species acclimated or original species from here to be sufficient for what we need, like one way or the other, kind of.
Maybe working on like doing veterinary work with native species, and also doing like selective breeding of native species to make them more suited to our needs.
Yeah, I actually really like that. So it's like we're colonizing. I mean, we're just straight up. It's like, hey, we're gonna like terraform the shit out of this place, and that includes like, and like the slower process is turning native life into something that like domesticable and
like how do you breed the
stuff.
fish to be bigger and more proteiny?
Yeah,
And
like what
less
exists
angry.
here is not sufficient to our needs, and the terraforming is not fast enough that our species do well.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to find something in between now. We're like,
Yeah. So do we then our good then is, it sounds like, it's some kind of hybridized either flora or fauna, like some kind of vegetable that we are able to grow, or like an animal, or like something from that animal, like cool space eel, or like
where
space
another
wool.
environment- in another environment, it might be an invasive species because of how quickly it breeds. But here, like that's what we need, because like otherwise it's not going to flourish.
Yeah.
Like space ethanol or something like that, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
okay, good for that.
We can nail down the specifics.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what
Yeah.
species
Yeah.
it is, but we can figure that out later.
Yeah, we're good.
Once
for
our
that.
xenobiologists have a scene.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
throw
get
out
to do
something.
farm stuff.
So, everyone knows about the scandal which rocked the community last winter. Whose poor judgment broke a family?
Ooh.
And I would like to remind, because my personal line was romantic infidelity. So something beyond that.
Uh-huh.
I want someone to have made like a bad child rearing decision.
That's cool. Not cool, but good. Dramatic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like someone let their kid do something they shouldn't have, and then the kid caused problems for everyone. I don't know, like maybe you let your
They got to the
12-year-old drive a
tanks.
tractor, and the tractor caught on fire,
Yeah,
and it burned down old man McDonald's barn.
yeah, like
That
something
happens.
something that damaged our resources or utilities that negatively would have affected the whole community.
Oh my
But it
god,
was
see, you know how like grain silos, hella flammable. A 12-year-old drove a tractor into a grain silo. The kid was fine, the silo was not. We lost all of our grain.
And because of that, the family had to recompense the community, and like that financial like caused tension in the family, and they
Or they just parked it on top of like dry crops, and the residual heat from the machine caused it to catch fire.
Started like a fire
That's a whole
in a
thing.
field.
Oh my god.
You can look that up.
But like someone like let their kid someone let their kid operate heavy machinery, and it caused
Joyride.
problems for the rest of us.
I kind of wait. Can I make this like weirder, like sci-fi weirder?
Yeah.
We maybe have like little terraformers, right? So it's like, oh, somebody let them onto like this power tool. Like, you know, it's like a big heavy machinery, but the heavy machinery is that it can just like laser beam a place, and it like turns it into a different kind of material. Or more, it's probably more just like other types of dirt. So it's not, you know, literally like, oh, now it's marble. But
Okay, I need to interrupt you. Dirt is soil out of place, which you it would have, you know, changed the soil type of the sorry.
Or maybe it's something like that, like
I will bring you the soil chart.
yeah, thank you.
but like the beam
low.
lasered like the pH of the soil.
Ooh, yeah.
And just well, I guess, but if that machine exists, then why couldn't we just laser it back?
No, that's true.
I think it
Too
may
powerful.
be well, I think like maybe it's the same thing where like something like it like wrecked a silo or something like that. But I guess it's just what the instrument was. I wanted to make it more sci-fi.
Accelerated growth.
Yeah.
What if it just caused like plants to grow everywhere, and so now the whole settlement is just like covered in like vines and stuff that we keep having to cut back?
That makes
that's
me
Ooh,
good.
think
yeah.
about like tumbleweeds as an invasive species and how they just will
Ooh.
pop up everywhere, and
Or,
they're also very flammable and dangerous.
Or like kudzu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think when I framed this as being a kid that did it, I wanted it to be clear that like the community does not blame the kid. The community blames the
Yeah.
parents for
Yeah.
letting the kid do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that
100%.
ostracization like sort of caused tension and
I'm into
Yeah,
it.
but I think like the kid like kind of like feels blame even if
Yeah.
the blame is not being placed on
sure.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. because they feel like the ripples of
Yeah.
regardless of what the community intends.
Mm.
So little
Nice.
Timmy ran the terraformer and caused some invasive species to really fuck up the ecology.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay. Next question.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, Pete is very cool. I'm once again biting my tongue. We will save it for another time.
The youth don't realize how precious a point. Sorry, Kevin, you read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vedita, shut up. This is my job.
I was not expecting that.
No, Vedita is the only one I treat this way.
It's fine, Kevin. I love you. All I do is I just kill your characters. It's fine.
So many times.
So close.
The youth don't realize how precious a boring life can be. What risky activity do they perform outside of the community?
Can it be that they play around in like a wreck?
Yeah.
Mm,
Like there's a to go back to the scrapyard because we have salvage in here. Like
yeah.
we do. It's not like there's 100 wrecks around here.
Mhm.
There's like one or two that's like somewhere in the area.
Mhm.
And like maybe we don't always go to salvage it because we know how dangerous it is. We're like, okay, no one's going to that place.
Yeah, we have
That-
some that
there's,
are
like-
like
Hazards or bombs or like
Yeah, there's
weapons.
Not
active-
radioactivity, but like
Yeah.
something similar.
there's reactive materials or still armed weaponry or
Things that are
think-
very, very flammable.
Yeah.
Still armed weaponry kind of clicks with me because knowing post-war Southeast Asia, they have like undetonated bombs,
yeah.
untriggered
Yeah.
mines
Yeah.
are a thing,
200%.
a huge problem still to this day.
To make sure
Yeah.
that we're not tripping over one of our own lines and veils.
Yeah.
Harm to children.
Yes.
Ah,
So like that like is that a veil or a line?
I think it's a veil.
it's a veil.
So it could be a threat, like, but it's not. I will not like say, and then little Timmy blew up in the field. Like no,
Yeah.
it's like little Timmy like got found out there. They got him out, but like everybody like got really their hackles up.
We don't have to see it on screen, right?
Yeah.
If it does happen.
Exactly.
But there is stuff about in the story that there were ships that were turned into bombs
Mhm.
to destroy the song, like ships that were loaded up with nanotech bombs and stuff like that, and like asteroids that were turned into explosives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be one of those that just like crashed into the planet and
Mhm.
remained
But did not
But
go
it's
off
payload.
upon crash.
Yeah.
right.
And like folks here don't have the acuity to disarm, and like you call the corporation or the government, whichever it belongs to, and they're not sending somebody out all the way over here for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're not risking their ass.
Oh, I think I feel like Vel is like very is like fucking kids. Stop going there, but is also like really into it. Like probably did it a lot like as a kid, but is very more like no, I'm protecting the village. I'm finding all the bombs that were undetonated. I like that. All right. And then our last question.
Yeah. I think you got very quiet from me all of a sudden. I'm sure
Oh.
that's just me.
I think it might. I just got away from. I got away from my mic.
Gotcha, no problem. And our last question. Which of the neighboring core settlements have recently harmed your community, and how did they do so?
Ooh.
Kevin, you got a little bit quiet too.
Oh, did I?
What if
Put your
Only
mic in.
Everyone's quiet.
Everyone, please speak into your mics.
Yeah.
This is an
let's-
ASMR channel now.
No,
Oh,
no.
I'm so sorry. I meant that got too close. Not too close.
Pull back.
Let's go for take two. Which of the neighboring core settlements have recently harmed your community, and how did they do so?
Ooh, you gasped. What was that thought?
Well, I'm trying to think about like how my character would spin this into a like, oh, the song's fucking back, people, and I'm trying to think about like what that means. Like, how do you make like what's something that's not just like, oh, they like attacked us, right?
Well, isn't the song turns people into like really conformist, kind of people, and it makes them like verbally abusive, right? Doesn't it like eventually turn them into like liars, gaslighters, and things like that? Maybe it's something like an early stage, like this is a community that we had a lot of trust with, and like a group of them acted really uncharacteristically like cold to us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have like, it could have just been like they had a bad day, or we read too much into it.
But like now we think it's the song.
I think I like the idea that it's and like it's more like how we interpret it. So like it harmed our community in the sense that like it kind of spread some infighting maybe, or like it's more like, oh, it's weird that they were like that. And it's like, no, what are you talking about? Like it was totally fine kind of deal, maybe.
You don't think it's weird that all the Whovians that gathered around the tree and held hands and sung a song all at once together?
No, that's just space Christmas.
The Whovians? With their trench coats and their Converse and their prop sonic screwdrivers?
Oh,
they're
God.
Who's.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
I love the idea that the Grinch how the Grinch Stole Christmas is just a bunch of like Doctor Who fans.
Doctor Who fans, yeah.
Oh no.
But it says they're harmed, so maybe they denied us something, right? We
maybe
get
we
something
needed
from them.
support when we had the stuff go bad.
And they didn't, like, we needed to buy grain from them, like, on credit or at a lower rate, because we'd lost a lot of our resources and they weren't willing to work with us considering our hardship.
And we were like, we've
get out of here.
Yeah. And we were like, hang on, we're like the farmers, we've helped y'all out in the past. Can you do us this one good turn? And they were like, nah.
Right.
Ooh, yeah. And it's like, oh, that's weird, y'all. Hey, hostility.
Pretty freaky that you guys don't want to work with us on this. Time for some space McCarthyism.
Sounds songy to me.
Do you hear what I hear?
Little
You'll hear
sing-songy. A little bit of...
Uh-oh.
Is that some humming I hear? Just like...
Oh my God.
So slightly. Sorry.
Place I've been temping at has been playing Christmas music this whole time. Apparently they've been playing Christmas music since November 1st.
No.
Oh my
The whole
God.
thing.
Like, call me a hater, but you don't start Christmas until Black Friday. Like,
That's pretty good.
At best.
At best.
like, maybe I'm just a hater, but like, you can't start Christmas until the end of November. I can
Give
tolerate
Thanksgiving
a
its
month
time.
of Christmas at most.
See, that's where I get confused, is because y'all's Thanksgiving is at a different time.
Oh,
That's true, yeah.
Last Thursday of November, and then I can tolerate Christmas.
That makes sense to me.
Or is it the last Thursday or the fourth Thursday? It's the fourth Thursday.
It's the
Third?
Fourth Thursday is usually
don't know.
fourth. No, it's the fourth. It's the
Anything.
fourth.
Yeah.
Fourth,
I'm
okay.
bad one. Yeah.
Fourth
No more than
Thursday in
5 or
November,
6 weeks
Is
out.
our
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, yeah.
and then I
Okay.
can tolerate Christmas.
That's all our
All
questions, isn't it?
Yeah, we did it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it.
And then there's some other stuff about like showing off NPCs and establishing relationships.
We can work
Can
on
Can we
that.
offline that or do it at the top
Yeah.
of next session?
Yeah,
we
we
can.
we can schedule something out and see what can happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
that is our
Oh.
session 0, folks. Thank you so much for both the people here on screen and those off screen joining us in chat. Thank you so much for joining us. This is so much fun. I'm just very excited to play with these characters and to see how their interaction and their beliefs interact. And I don't know, see if I live up to y'all's expectations of making you feel bad.
Amazing.
Watch, I'm
I'm
gonna
so
do
excited.
everything in my power to make y'all feel good.
Well, I mean, the good thing about the system, it sounds like, is that we as players are also encouraged to make everybody else feel bad.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
So if you
Yeah.
ever need help,
Whether
sure.
you're involved in the scenes or not.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that is where we're gonna call it. We ran a little bit over, just pushing
Yep.
for that last little bit, but I think it was worth it. It was all very good discussion, very good talks.
Yeah.
So, Jess, do you want to do the host?
Yeah. I was gonna do really quick. I'm gonna switch us back
better
over
at
to
this.
the other screen, and then I'm gonna say really quick thank yous. Of course, we are playing After the War. Please check it out. Links in the chat. If you are watching live, they're live in the Twitch chat right now. If you watch this later after I clean it up all nice and squeaky clean and I put it up on the YouTubes, then everything will be down below. So please check out the links for this game. Please check out this amazing cast. I'm having to like in my brain spell that stuff out. Check out all these awesome cool folks. They will be here for 3 more weeks. Come hang out with us every Sunday for the next 3 weeks while we tell this heckin' awesome story. I still love that it's a 4-part
Yeah.
story, which you know is Urson approved. Just saying. So that's heckin' good. So quick thank you to Roll20, who of course is we are part of the Roll20 Spotlight program. And I think I've said all the things. So yeah, get yourself this quick play guide at the very least. Check it out. Follow along with us. You'll see how like cool it is, and then pick it up. Get yourself this big old fancy book. That's all cool and shiny and like full of neat pictures of like cute bear people and some horse people and like all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, thank you all, and hopefully we'll see you all next week. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, see you soon, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.